For the snowy storm, 33 degrees in Chicago at 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago area could feel a bit like winter tonight. National Weather Service says snow up to 2 inches will fall. Less than that as you travel towards the lakefront, with accumulations not very possible right along the lakefront. That may actually be rain. Temperatures will drop in the low 30s. There's a good chance of snow through the morning tomorrow as well. Public health managers in Illinois say more people are coming down sickened with a polio-like disease this morning. The Illinois Department of Public Health is saying acute flaccid myelitis outbreak continues in the state and is now up to 16 cases. All but one of those who are sick are under 18. Nationally, hundreds have been confirmed to have been sickened with AFM. Students and staff on edge after alleged racist graffiti was found at Oak Park and River Forest High School for a second time in less than a week. The school hosted a community meeting last night, so those parents and others in the community could express concern. Police are investigating after graffiti targeting an African-American special ed teacher was found last week on a shed on campus. In a procedural filing, Superintendent Eddie Johnson put his name on paperwork that brings charges yesterday with the city's police board that recommend the firing of Robert Rialmo for rule violations. Superintendent, however, believes that Rialmo was justified in the shooting, where the officer shot Quintonio Legrier and Betty Jones while responding to a domestic disturbance on the west side in December of 2015, and has said so publicly. The police board will hold hearings now to decide if Rialmo should lose his job. Chicago Police Union is cutting ties with the attorney who represents convicted former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke. Chicago Tribune reports the executive board of the local Fraternal Order of Police voted Tuesday against recommending the services of Daniel Herbert. Herbert confirmed the board had expressed displeasure with his handling of the Van Dyke case. Cook County judge is out of a job. Voters are not retaining Judge Matthew Coughlin. He's the first Cook County judge since 1990 to have been removed by voters. Coughlin had been under scrutiny for his involvement in a wrongful conviction case and for his handling of torture claims involving former Chicago Police Commander John Burge. An investigation continues after a missing man was found dead in a car pulled from a retention pond in Downers Grove. Police discovered a Toyota Camry submerged in the water yesterday near I-355 and Ogden Avenue. The body was found in that vehicle, identified as Aubamir Aroman. He had been missing since October 20th. Chicago police say they recovered a male body not far from the area where a car tumbled into the Calumet River over the weekend. Authorities say the search continues for one other person in that car. Devontae Cersei, Demetrius Hendricks, and Christopher Henderson were in a vehicle early Sunday morning when their car went into the river. Henderson made it out alive. Hammond police are conducting a death investigation after skeletal remains were found. Authorities say the discovery was made yesterday morning in a wooded area in the 2400 block of Atchison Avenue. Rodney Davis is heading back to Congress. He ends Tuesday with a slight lead in the race against Democrat Betsy Londrigan for the state's 13th congressional district. That includes parts of Springfield, Champaign, Bloomington, Normal. Londrigan officially conceded that race yesterday after Davis had a lead. Chicago voters had a chance to weigh in on a range of non-binding issues. About 88% voted in favor of revenue from the sale of marijuana being used to help fund the Chicago public schools. They also wanted gun dealers to be certified by the state and voted for a ban on plastic straws. The Oak Brook Park District's multi-million-dollar bond sale referendum to buy vacant land from McDonald's is approved. The measure gained 68% of the vote. Park District hoping to use the funds now to buy 34 acres of property at Jory and Kensington with the permission of McDonald's. But there will be a fight now with developers who want to claim that land. Mayor Emanuel is naming 5 teams of architects as finalists for the huge O'Hare expansion project funded by taxpayers. Groups include Santiago Calatrava. He, of course, designed that infamous Spire, a proposed tower that began construction but went bust in 2008. Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill, the architects of the Willis and the Trump Towers, also made that cut. Denver's Fentress, London's Foster and Partners, and Chicago's Studio Gang also made that cut. Chicago sports, Anthony Davis poured in a game-high 32. Pelicans over the Bulls, 107-98. College hoops last night. DePaul, the lid lifter on the season, beating Bethune-Cookman. Fighting Illini opened the season later tonight against Evansville. On AM 560 last night, Marcus Childers ran for 2 touchdowns, threw for another, as Northern Illinois cruised past Toledo, 38-15 in DeKalb. NIU now 7-3, 6-0 in the MAC. Bears take on the Lions Sunday at Soldier Field, but here's some good news. Khalil Mack, Allen Robinson, key receiver and linebacker, both returning to practice yesterday. The news is a service this hour of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
For more than a half-century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, CPA.com.
Amazon is raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at Amazon.com/Chicago Jobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer.
5:11. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy Expressway, we're seeing delays from 190 before Cumberland. There's overnight road work, should be clearing shortly. About 23 minutes, so here to downtown, outbound 24. Stop and go Nagel to Harlem, where there's work. The Eisenhower is just fine right now. No problems to report on the Stevenson. Lots of work on the Rhine, especially at the south end. and it's stop and go from 87th to the split. Looking at about 20 to 25 minutes. Downtown to 95th, inbound fine at 20. I-57 is clear. Bishop Ford 5. The overnight work still there. King Drive and the merge, it's lifting. Long-term work at Stony Island is gone. Tollways are okay. Northwest Indiana as well. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Breezy and chilly today with a mix of clouds and sun. High 44. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold with a low 27. Sunshine will give way to clouds tomorrow, high 42. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
33 at O'Hare, 32 in Aurora, 34 this morning along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Continuous news coverage and breaking news here on 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So bring in Mike Scott on this as well. We've got this story overnight. Of 12 murdered in a country bar in Thousand Oaks, California. 13 dead total, 12 murdered by the shooter, and the shooter now dead. Mike Scott, can you just give us whatever details you have?
The bar's website and the Ventura County Sheriff just confirmed a college country night event. They have it every Wednesday. Hundreds were inside. The shooter, according to the Ventura County Sheriff's, is among the dead, along with a sheriff's deputy, according to the Ventura County Sheriff, who died later at a nearby hospital. Again, the toll is at 13, 11 wounded, but that number, I expect, according to the Associated Press and other reports, will go up.
And it was Borderline Bar. It's a country and western bar. It's a huge place. It's right off the 101 in Ventura, in Thousand Oaks. And it was Pepperdine College's college night. They had country night, and then also California Lutheran. Here's one guy who was there with his stepdad who saw the whole shooting.
I was to the front door. I was talking to my stepdad, and I just started hearing these big pops, pop, pop, pop. There was probably 3 or 4. I hit the ground. I look up. The security guard's dead. Or I don't want to say dead, but he was shot. He was down. And the gunman was throwing smoke grenades all over the place. I saw him point to the back of the cash register. And he just kept firing. I ran out the front door. I hear chairs being thrown out the window. People were trying to get out the window. And the gunman went behind the cash register. There was probably 12 shots before I got out the front door. And I go out, I come back in to see if my stepdad's okay. I hear him yelling, and I ran. But the gunman, he had a beard. He looked Middle Eastern or so. He was wearing a hat, black jacket. I think he had glasses on, like prescription glasses. He had a big handgun, and shots were just firing.
And they said there were also some smoke grenades going off. Nobody said that they heard him yelling anything, but he kept shooting. And of course, there was panic and chaos, and people are trying desperately to get out of there.
It was chaos. People jumping out of windows, hopping over gates, just trying to get out. From what I heard, that the gunman started shooting at the front desk. And then from there, I'm not sure. Students or friends that I have that are in there reported that students are hiding in the attics and bathrooms and stuff like that. So
terrible night.
It's just awful because here you have another country venue where people are getting killed. 13 dead, including the shooter, but still, and a deputy down. And nothing to me is more American than country music. And you had in Las Vegas, you had that country festival where 51 people were killed. So they don't know what his motives were. They don't know who he is. They just know that he's down. He's been killed. He's been murdered. or he turned the weapon on himself.
All right, so we'll continue to keep you updated as more information becomes available about the shooter. Do we know, by the way, whether you said the shooter turned the gun on himself? That's what they're reporting?
No, we don't know if he turned the gun on himself or if he was shot by deputies.
Certainly seems like an orchestrated attack, but as we've covered so many of these, unfortunately, restraint. Report what we know, ask questions, try and get answers, and then we'll pass those answers on to you.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
This car I'm driving, I overpaid big time. It was such a mistake. I should have just gone to Carfax.com, but I went to some other site. They gave me a price range? Oh, they were way off. Son of a...
Carfax has a better way. When you search used cars at Carfax.com, you get the most accurate price based on the Carfax report, so you never have to overpay on a used car again. Start your used car search today at Carfax.com.
Give joy, get joy at Kohl's. Get ready for colder weather and take an extra 15% off. Give outerwear and boots for the family. Give Harry Potter sweatshirts and hoodies. And with an extra 15% off, a 6-quart Instant Pot is just $93.49. Plus, only at Kohl's, you get Kohl's Cash to spend later. The more you give, the more Kohl's Cash you get. Give joy, get joy at Kohl's. Select styles, 15% offer valid November 7th through 15th with promo code KICKOFF15. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Smartphones, smart cars, smart thermostats, smart security systems. It's like our everyday items are getting, well, smarter than us. Take your home to the next level with custom smart window coverings from 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO. With the touch of your finger on your smartphone or the sound of your voice with your Alexa device, you can create the right lighting and ambiance in every room. Give your home an easy and affordable makeover. 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO knows window coverings. They know blinds, shades, shutters, and precise installation. But they really know how to make your family home a comfortable place and for a lot less than you'd expect for custom window coverings. New blinds or shades can help with heat reduction, privacy, and make you fall in love with your home all over again. With an in-house installation crew, you can count on a personal touch and quality custom blinds with 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO. Connect directly at 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO.com.
Looking to save money on Medicare Part D? Well, Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy for many plans, including United Healthcare, which means lower copays for you. Together, Walgreens and United Healthcare make saving on Medicare Part D quick and easy. So bring your prescriptions to your nearest Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Napa know-how. Right now, Napa has 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil or Valvoline full synthetic motor oil for $23.99. That's one heck of a deal for all-weather engine protection. So whether you're driving in Phoenix, Arizona, Duluth, Minnesota, or down the street to the grocery store, the right oil for your ride is just $23.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 12/31/18.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, again, we'll keep you updated as more details become available in this awful shooting. 12 people murdered at a country bar in Thousand Oaks, California. The shooter dead. We don't know how. One of the people he murdered, a local county sheriff.
Yeah, and they said that he burst into the bar around 11:20 p.m., went through the front door, and then threw smoke bombs, and then began shooting at targets as young as 18 years old.
So,
and a lot of people, the place was packed. It's a huge, if you've ever been to like a country line dancing bar, that's what it is. It's been there for 20 plus years. It's just a well-known staple in that very safe community of Thousand Oaks, and it's a place where nearby college students from Pepperdine and California Lutheran go to have, dances and have their parties. Like there was a dorm gathering from the first floor, some dorm at Pepperdine. They had an event there last night too, and one of the students is missing.
So clearly an orchestrated attack, but that's about all we know at this point in terms of motive or any background information on the shooter. All right, switching gears, President Trump held this sort of signature Wild and Willie press conference. Actually, I thought he performed quite well in not taking any bulljive from the D.C. press corps. And the most entertaining, provocative exchange was unsurprisingly between him and now defrocked CNN reporter Jim Acosta.
Not over yet, Dan. They're fighting back, but yeah.
Round one of Jim Acosta and Donald Trump at his post-election presser.
I wanted to challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign. In the midterms.
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
Now, one of the interesting things about these exchanges we're going to play with at least 3 different reporters is there is not a new question being asked. There is no question that is asked that hasn't been asked and answered dozens, if not hundreds of times in the last 2 weeks since the caravan was instigated and started making its way to the U.S. border, just on that topic.
Yeah,
and
new.
It's just a rinse and repeat, and it doesn't matter how many times the same question is asked and how many times they get the same answer. They just keep rinsing and repeating it because they want that story. Trump demonizes illegal immigrants as the headline or a chyron on their shows, and they have to get a new presidential answer, even if it's the same presidential answer, in order to sustain the story.
They're trying to make a name for themselves. I mean, it's not just about what President Trump's saying, it's about them being part of the story and, look at me.
It's wiring the news is what it is. The fix is in. Now, round 2, as Jim Acosta...
Who are we going to now?
Well, Jim Acosta. So round 2 with Jim Acosta, he wasn't done. This is where an intern tries to take the mic from him, and he
touches her.
He basically pushed her to the floor and beat her. That's how I.
No, he did it.
Not
there
quite.
was some touching going on. I mean, she was doing her job, and he was like, "Hey, it's my mic." It was rude.
I wish you would have cold cocked him. All right, Jim Acosta, President Trump, round 2.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
That's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual. It happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN. All right. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President. I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
Wait till Peter
And Peter was trying to stick up for Jim Acosta, who's from, worked at BBM Chicago TV for a while. He is a nice guy. I mean, but I have to say, I agree with the White House in yanking his credentials because he was being disrespectful to the president. And when your time's up, your time's up. You don't confront. He's the president of the United States, ding dong. What is wrong with you? You hand the mic over to somebody else.
Hashtag time's up. Peter Alexander then got the brunt of it, as you said, when he tried to stick up for his colleague Acosta.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his
Well, I'm
butt
not a
like
big
the rest
fan
of
of
us.
yours either, so
I understand.
to be honest.
He's my bunk buddy in the Caribbean.
And then Jim Acosta filmed his defrocking when Secret Service took his credential.
Why do you mind? I mean,
I was just told to do it.
Okay, well, I have every right to record this. This is Jim Acosta. I am in front of the
This
White
is my
House.
life.
Secret
Truman
Service
Show.
officer is asking for my hard pass. Obviously, no hard feelings to the officer, but I am now giving my hard pass to the Secret
Scintillating
Service.
video.
He thought that highly.
You could have just told
He
us you
recorded
gave your hard
this.
pass.
Lanyard
We
there, or-
believe you, at least on that score. So there's Jim Acosta,
He
Peter Alexander.
recorded that?
Oh, yeah.
Because later he was on with, what's his name, Vanderbilt's son, and he was almost in tears. He was just reliving the whole horror of, this is a place I've gone, Dan, for 5 years.
Traumatizing.
And the Secret Service came and they took my credentials. I don't know if I'll ever be back.
It's it's a traumatic time for the D.C. press corps because they're not used to having people not cower, not coddle them with their redundant and ridiculous questions and general obstreperousness, as Acosta demonstrated, because, as you say, he wants to make a spectacle of himself, to make a name for himself, so he can be at Aspen Think conferences and generate speaking fees at some point, maybe write some unreadable fifth-grade level book about the media at some juncture. I mean, that's what this is about.
Well, the question is, should CNN suspend him or fire him for this? Or is this enough of a slap on the hand? Because this morning, the White House Correspondents Association is objecting. They've written a letter to the White House urging them to reverse their weak and misguided decision.
Right. Yeah, fine. You got more in the stable. Just switch Don Lemon in. Switch one of the fungible blondes in.
Can you imagine
Allison
Don Lemon?
Camerata, Poppy Harlow, the Kate Bolden. I mean, who cares?
Pam Brown's pretty hot.
They're all
Send her
asking
in.
the same question. It doesn't matter. Just because Jim Acosta perhaps is more aggressive, but I'm sure they could learn. I mean, the problem is, to get any of those people out from behind their desk to do any real work is the challenge.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll continue with the press conference because I enjoyed it so thoroughly, and I want to share it with you at 5:30.
And later, another mass shooting, this time in Thousand Oaks, California. Mike Scott is here with the latest information on that. Good morning, Mike.
Amy and Dan, good morning, and thank you. Multiple people are confirmed dead in a mass shooting at a bar in Thousand Oaks, California, Ventura County, where the sheriff, Jeffrey Dean, provided an update this morning about 20 minutes ago.
They found 11 victims that had been killed. The suspect, who we believe was the only suspect, was dead inside. And there were multiple other victims of different levels of injury inside that were rescued from the scene.
He adds a law enforcement officer died later at a nearby hospital, putting that mark at 13. Matt Wenstrom was inside.
When it started to reload, that's when we got people out of there, and I didn't look back.
Authorities say a dozen or more have been injured. It started at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California, as Dan and Amy have both mentioned many times this morning already, about 40 minutes from downtown Los Angeles. Started around 11:30 after several witnesses say the gunman threw smoke bombs into the club. That has yet to be officially confirmed by the Ventura County Sheriff. Jeff Sessions is out as America's Attorney General, submitting a resignation letter after President Trump asked for it yesterday, getting reaction from Democrat Minority Leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer.
It would create a constitutional crisis if this were a prelude to ending or greatly limiting the Mueller investigation.
Meantime, the White House is suspending CNN correspondent Jim Acosta's press pass after a heated exchange with the president yesterday.
You know what? That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question. Mr. President, if I may ask
Peter,
one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders claimed Acosta placed his hands on a White House intern as he peppered Trump with questions during that press conference. Race for Florida governor may be headed for a recall after all. As of last night, Republican Ron DeSantis' lead over Democrat Andrew Gillum had shrunk to a .57.50, being the threshold to trigger an automatic recount. Votes are still being counted in Broward County. Chicago area could feel a lot like winter tonight. National Weather Service says snow will drop less than half of an inch in the city. Rain right along the Lake Hump, but out in the western suburbs, on the grassy areas, up to 2 inches could fall. Public health managers in Illinois say more people are sick with a polio-like disease. The Illinois Department of Public Health yesterday saying the acute flaccid myelitis outbreak in the state is up to 16. Nationally, hundreds. Chicago Police Union is cutting ties with the attorney who represents convicted former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke. The Tribune reporting the executive board of the local FOP voted Tuesday against recommending the services of Daniel Herbert. Addison Russell's agent believes that the Cubs will bring him back next season. Shortstop's future with the team has been in doubt since he went on administrative leave in September after his ex-wife accused him of domestic abuse. Pelicans over the Bulls last night, 107-98. College hoops. DePaul beat Bethune-Cookman, and the Fighting Illini are in action tonight against Evansville. On AM 560 last night, Marcus Childers ran for 2 scores, and by the way, he threw another one. It's the Northern Illinois Huskies and ran over Toledo, 38-15. The News is a service of E-Verify, the modernized employment eligibility verification partner that can maximize your potential. They're helping employers get through the hiring process so they can focus on their business, and you can get started at everify.gov/go. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher explains the consequences of elections.
Millions and millions of Americans voted for President Trump because of the gamble that he would fulfill his promise and appoint conservatives to the judiciary. With the Senate firmly controlled by the Republicans, that continues. We're going to continue to see conservative upon conservative appointed to the federal judiciary, and that's going to affect our grandchildren.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy!
5:36, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
In northwest Indiana, traffic is stop and go on westbound 8094 Kennedy Avenue to Indianapolis Boulevard. Crash. The left and right lanes are blocked. 2 center lanes are open right now. This is westbound on the Borman. Edens Expressway is fine. So is the Kennedy. After overnight work cleared, express lanes are open inbound. Eisenhower still okay. Traffic starting to get a little more congested east of Manheim. Inbound Stevenson, it's slow. For Pulaski to Kedzie. Looking at 37 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Orion, 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound, 15. There is some road work still from 87 for the split. No problems to report on I-57 at the Bishop Ford Freeway. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy, considerably chilly, high near 40, and those temperatures dip down and step down into the evening hours. The snow begins. Again, western suburbs on those grassy areas up to 2 inches, half inch in the city, if any, and then rain right along the lakefront. Everything will be slippery by tomorrow morning, and a low of 29. Currently 33. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And so just continuing on with this Trump press conference, we gave you the Jim Acosta exchange with the model and denouement where he filmed himself being defrocked by Secret Service. And I do say defrocked by Secret Service because the media, that they are their own religion. Journalism, as they defined it, is their religion.
And also, too, he can't get in. He can't go into the same job he's had for the same 5 years. He's been reassigned.
And a nation mourns Jim Acosta losing his press credential.
Moment of silence?
That's good enough.
Okay.
Peter Alexander that picked up, NBC's Peter Alexander, tried to pick up the ball and run with Jim Acosta. He was summarily tackled by President Trump. And then he did get his question out, which President Trump smacked back, much like he did with Acosta on the Caravan.
Sir, at the end of the campaign, you repeatedly said that Americans need to fear Democrats. You said Democrats would unleash a wave of violent crime that endangers families everywhere. Why are you pitting Americans? Why are you pitting Americans against one another, sir?
Peter, what are you trying to be him?
No,
Peter,
I'm just asking the question.
Let me just tell you, very simple. Because they're very weak on crime. Because they have often suggested, members and people within the Democrat Party at a high level have suggested getting rid of ICE, getting rid of law enforcement. That's not going to happen, okay? We want to be strong on the borders. We want to be strong on law enforcement, and I want to cherish ICE because ICE does a fantastic job. What they do for us is so it's so unrecognized how good a job they do. So we want to take care of them, and we want to hold them very close because they do a good job.
But the question, to be clear, though, the question,
Thank you very much.
Why are you?
Sit down.
But the question, but you didn't answer my question. Just very simply, the question is, why are you pitting Americans against one another, sir?
I'm not.
Is that how you view citizens of this country?
I'll tell you what. We won a lot of elections last night. We did very well last night.
But in many ways,
I think it's going
to have.
I think it's going to have a very positive impact.
I mean, are you as tired of this line of questioning as I am? Dividing the country. It's dividing the country. You're dividing the country. Be a uniter, not a divider. Here's the problem with that. Something a D.C. press corps doesn't ever consider, explore, because they don't think. They use one brain and they just have somebody else employ what's supposed to come out of it.
Well, the problem for me, too, is that reporters are becoming obviously more about them, but also they become more agitated every time. And for Jim Acosta not to give the microphone to that White House intern and then to almost like grab it back because they were saying that he touched her. He put his hand on the young staffer.
Right.
That, you know what? If he starts doing that, who knows what he's going to do next time? So I understand why they pulled his credentials. I think after a timeout, they should give them back to him because I believe in second chances and that he could learn his lesson. But they had to do something, or else this could escalate out of control.
Don't care about Jim Acosta's credential. Don't care about Jim Acosta. If he disappeared tomorrow, the world would continue spinning on its axis.
Everyone's replaceable.
So
just remember that.
Divided country.
Yeah, are we really?
Well, I don't even know. We disagree. The president disagrees with congressional Democrats. We disagree on what should be done on the southern border. So the whole divide of the country, here's how we unify the country according to the left and their press shop, the D.C. Press Corps. Well, just agree with us. Just surrender. It's easy to be unified if you just surrender to the other side. That's been the Republican Party's approach in Illinois. Divided country, divided country. It's a mindless chant. It doesn't mean anything. And the president had fun with Peter Alexander and Jim Acosta, and I had fun watching him have fun with them. But rather than starting from their premise of, we did well in the elections, starting from the premise and responding with we did well in the elections, and I'm not dividing the country, I'm just pursuing this policy that I promised the American people I would pursue because that's where the majority. We have disagreements. He sort of got to that with Jim Acosta and the argument about characterizing the caravan as an invasion. That's how I characterize it. You feel differently. We have a difference of opinion. Does that mean I'm dividing the country? Is anybody being demonized? You want confiscatory tax rates? I don't. You think businesses are people with the ability to pay, and that's how they should be treated, or their jobs programs? And I don't, because I'm an entrepreneurial capitalist. Am I dividing the country?
Yes, very much so.
I mean, it's just so silly. The saddest thing about the D.C. Press Corps is how thoughtless they are.
Well, they're just pushing their own agenda. And if you don't think any of those people in that room voted Democratic during the midterms,
yeah, of course, 90% of them did.
Right. And we know that.
But Republicans need to do a better job when you have those opportunities, the president included, on a national stage to undermine the false premises from which the conversation starts. And that's what the press is really in the business of, false premises. All they're there to do, ask the same question, to get the same answer from the president, to publish the same mischaracterizations and the same incendiary chyrons. Yeah, and then I've done my job for the day.
We've seen this movie before. It is mindless.
Jim and Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. How are you?
Good.
Just wanted to point out that a lot of the problem here, I think, could be alleviated by pointing out that these reporters are merely employees of a corporation. They are not appointed by an elected official, nor are they elected officials themselves. They are merely employees of a company. And most of them are big international corporations.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
For-profit companies, too, for the most part.
Yes, exactly. They are in the business of selling information. It may not be accurate information. It may not be a good product. But nevertheless, they're selling information. And I think we need to stop kneeling to these people as though they're the bastions of honesty and truth, because they're certainly not. I have worked in the media. I've met people. I'm not casting aspersions on all people in the news gathering business, but a lot of them are there for their own personal agenda, as was said earlier. And I think we have to start treating these people as what they are, employees of a big company.
Thanks for the call, Jim.
I mean, think about, too, how reporting has changed. I spoke to an assignment editor at Channel 5 who's been there for 30 years and said it used to be journalists and reporters. He says now it's people taking selfies at double homicides with a whole look at me. That's what they don't care about, the subject matter they're interviewing, even if it's the president of the United States. They don't want to follow the rules when they say, your turn is up, hand the microphone over. It's real basic things you learn in kindergarten.
Yeah,
well, you're done.
Right.
Now it's the next person's turn.
Right. It's not about filing stories. It's about fodder for social media.
They just want more hits on social media. That's all they want.
Joe in Crestwood.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say that I thought it was extremely disappointing to hear that reporter, Peter, whatever his name is, talking over the President of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That would have never happened in the prior administration. I think it shows a total lack of respect for the office as well as the man.
Thanks for the call,
I mean,
Joe.
do you remember a time with Clinton? No. I remember Sam Donaldson once was trying to speak over Ronald Reagan.
Well, that's who I was just
and
thinking
I thought
of.
that was rude.
But Sam Donaldson was nothing like what we see today. Sam Donaldson would press the president, and he always, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, became a joke in a Saturday Night Live skit with Kevin Nealon playing
that's right.
Sam Donaldson. But he would be dogged. But if the president didn't call on him or swatted him away, then he would relent. Because, you had your turn at the wheel, you asked your question, and then that's it. We're done with this conversation for now. And you'll be entitled to ask questions and continue to obviously cover the White House and all that stuff.
The bottom line, Journalism 101, reporters should not be the story.
This is all show because, of course, all these reporters who are antagonistic with President Trump, vis-a-vis President Trump, many of them wind up on flying with him and other dignitaries, depending on the trip, on Air Force One. They have access. This idea, like, if you don't indulge the tantrums of Jim Acosta, then you're shutting down a free press, is absurd. How many interviews has this guy done with people who are routinely critical of him? And that's up and down the line. The idea that, like, what we really lack here is press access, it's false. What we lack is a press corps that provides contextual and consequential information. That's what we lack. Greg in Schaumburg.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Dan, the only thing that I would just encourage us to do is we're bringing to this argument a rational sense. And if you go, and I can cite you theologians that, relative to the caravan, who are positioning as legitimate metaphysical truth exactly what Acosta is saying. And I think that there is simply a divide, and we need to take this a bit more seriously than just a show.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's also some of those theologians who are evangelicals for hire, courtesy of George Soros, but I get your point. Thanks for the call, Greg. Scott in Aurora.
Hey, I just wanted to bring up that, that question that he asked about, Trump, segregating and stuff. I think the only people that are segregating are the news themselves. I mean, to me, that's the biggest racism in itself, is all the segregating they do. I've never heard anything between a tweet or anything that Trump's ever done say anything about racism, anything that even hints on racism.
Thanks for the call, Scott. Well, that question was asked, or actually Trump leveled the accusation in response to a question that was asked by NPR reporter. Another question that is not a new question that's been asked 52 times since he explained what a nationalist was in his vernacular from his perspective at one of the campaign rallies to close the midterm cycle.
Hi, Mr. President. Yemi Shalsunder with PBS NewsHour. On the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists. Now people are also saying
I don't know why you'd
that
say
the
that. That's such a racist
There
question.
are some people that say that now the Republican Party is seen as supporting white nationalists because of your rhetoric.
What
do you make of that?
I don't believe it.
What do you make
I don't
of
know.
that?
Why do I have my
Great
highest
question.
poll numbers ever with African Americans? Why do I have among the highest poll numbers with African Americans? I mean, why do I have my highest poll numbers? That's such a racist question. Honestly, I mean, I know you have it written down and you're going to tell me. Let me tell you, it's a racist question.
And Mr. President,
I love it. You know what the word is? I love our country. I do. You have nationalists, you have globalists. I also love the world, and I don't mind helping the world, but we have to straighten out our country first. We have a lot of problems.
And
Excuse me, but to say that, what you said, is so insulting to me. It's a very terrible thing that you said.
And Mr.
Okay,
President,
please, go ahead.
Mr.
Go
President,
ahead.
people have you
Go
talked
ahead.
about
Excuse me.
middle class tax cuts on the campaign trail. How will you get Democrats to support that policy? Or
You have to
support
ask
that?
them.
Well,
Hey,
what's your
no,
plan for
excuse
working with
me. You know
Democrats
what
on a
my
middle
plan
class
is?
tax plan?
You know what my plan is? I'll ask them. And if they say yes, I'm all for it. And if they say no, there's nothing you can do because you need their votes. Go ahead.
That's simple. And he was, I thought, very tolerant of the second question after the first question. But again, the premise. Here's the story I want to write, Mr. President, so I need you to deny it. I want to write the story that Republicans are courting white nationalists. I want to write the story that the Republican Party is a racist party that's courting racists. So if you could just answer this cooked question, you've already defined, again, whether you think the use of the term nationalist is productive or not, and I don't, but whether you do or not, he has explained it. And there's nothing racist about it. And even Jake Tapper at CNN conceded the point. There's nothing racist about it. He didn't like Trump characterizing the reporter's question as racist. Call it insulting, call it defamatory, whatever you want to call it. You get hung up on the idiosyncrasies of the language, which, I do too. But the point is, this is what they're trying to do. And I wish the president, in addition to pushing back like he did, which I applaud him for doing, would explain to the American people what the point is, what that PBS reporter is trying to do. She's trying to tell the story Republicans are racist, courting racists, and she just needs the president to deny it to buttress her story so she can say, I got a presidential response to my question. You're racist. What do you think of that? That was her question.
I know. How did she think he was going to answer it?
Philip in Northwest Side.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Been in Chicago almost 47 years, and nobody has divided the people more than the Democratic Party. Nobody. On every level of life. And it's so sad to watch this. It's so sad to watch one of the best presidents I've ever seen in my lifetime. And, they just keep attacking him, and they don't even realize what they're doing. They've been so compartmentalized in so many different groups. It's almost like watching people who've been led by Stalin. When Stalin says, oh, we're for the people, it's just disgusting and sickening. And, if they continue to do it, they're going to be their own worst enemy, just like their own constituents constantly rob their own pensions and destroy their own unions and destroy their own cities and destroy their own towns. And every town and every city the Democrats have ran for the last 100 years are in shambles. And it's just disgusting to watch. And you guys have a nice day.
Thanks for the call. It's a great point about Chicago.
Oh, it is.
It's such a unified city, isn't it? Is there anybody who disagrees with the fact that Chicago is the most segregated city in America?
Of course you are. You have the Polish people on Milwaukee Avenue on the northwest side. You've got Little Village. You have Pilsen. You have Inglewood. You have Andersonville.
So the Democrats then, who've been in charge for 100 years, they fail to unify the city then, right? Isn't that the definition? 2 cities, one for the poor, mostly disproportionate minority, and one for Champagne socialists? Huh. Tom in Oswego.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I couldn't believe before the elections I talked to a lot of my Republican friends, conservative friends, and some of them talked about how they thought things would get ramped down a little bit if Democrats controlled the House.
Yeah.
I think what we saw yesterday is an example of how things are going to get ramped up. And a day after the election, they're going right for the throat again. And I'm afraid it's going to get really bad. And it's going to get worse because they're going to go after this guy with everything they can now that they control some of these committees.
Thanks for the call, Tim. There's no question about it. Jared Nadler yesterday telegraphing impeachment, all calling for his tax returns already. I mean, that's exactly what's coming. This is the whole thing. How do you respond to a bully? You just continue to give and give and give ground and hope the bully will stop? You're just encouraging him. Appeasement is provocative. So those people who thought, give the Democrats the House and that will appease them, don't know anything about the left and don't know anything about life.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Wow, we've been doing a lot of roofs.
And we're ready to do yours. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson from Crumweedy. Okay, say it. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Remember that when you need repair or when you need a new roof.
It's so important to choose your roofing company wisely.
Here's our pitch.
Installation. It's the ball game.
We follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact. Most roofing companies don't do that.
When we give you a quote, we give you good, better, and best options. You decide.
And we're not going anywhere.
We're a third-generation family business. 65 years of doing great roofs.
We run the company on good, conservative values.
For any roofing problem or need, call your roofing guys, Crumweedy.
Do we have any special offers? Sure. Just ask. We'll take care of you.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com.
When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
This is a Fox News alert. A massacre in California. I'm Dave Anthony.
At first I thought it was fireworks. Then that kind of didn't really make any sense.
Instead, it was a man in a bar in Thousand Oaks who just kept shooting and shooting.
My friend got hit in the shoulder. And then he was screaming my name, and he said, Mitchell, I'm hit.
People threw chairs to break windows to escape. Others hid, and by the time it was over...
They found 11 victims that had been killed. The suspect, who we believe was the only suspect, was dead inside.
Ventura County Sheriff Jeff Dean, there was also one other death as the first officers responded before midnight.
The Sheriff's Sergeant Ron Heelis and the Highway Patrol officer approached the front of the Borderline Bar and Grill. The Sheriff's Sergeant was the first through that door. He was met by multiple shots.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt outside the bar, which was crowded on College Country Night. As many as 20 others were injured. We don't know much about the shooter.
He had a full beard. He was wearing a black hat, a black jacket on. He had darker skin. He couldn't have been over 30.
We don't know if he was killed by law enforcement or if he shot himself. President Trump is looking for a new attorney general after he got Jeff Sessions to resign. Fox's Rachel Sutherland is live in Washington.
Dave, Democrats are calling for Sessions' temporary replacement, Matthew Whitaker, to recuse himself from the Russia probe. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the investigation must move forward.
It would create a constitutional crisis if this were a prelude to ending or greatly limiting the Mueller investigation.
Whitaker, a former U.S. attorney, has questioned the Russia probe and spoken publicly about ways an attorney general could theoretically stymie the investigation. Dave?
This is Fox News.
Skies are cloudy this morning, 33 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago area could feel a bit like winter later on tonight. National Weather Service says snow will likely fall. In general, less than 1/2 of an inch. It might be rain as you go right along the lakeshore. Public health managers in Illinois say more people are sick with a polio-like disease. The Illinois Department of Public Health yesterday said the acute flaccid myelitis outbreak in the state is up to 16 cases. All but one of those who are sick are under the age of 18. In a procedural filing, Superintendent Eddie Johnson put his name on paperwork that brings charges yesterday with the city's police board that recommend the firing of Officer Robert Rialmo for multiple rule violations. The superintendent believes Rialmo was justified when the officer shot Quintonio LeGrier and bystander Betty Jones responding to a domestic disturbance on the west side in 2015, and has said so publicly. Students and staff are on edge after alleged racist graffiti was found at Oak Park and River Forest High School for a second time this week. Police are investigating fully after graffiti targeting an African-American special ed teacher was found last week on a shed on campus. Rodney Davis is heading back to Congress. The Illinois congressman ended Tuesday with a lead against Democrat Betsy Londrigan for the state's 13th congressional district. Londrigan conceded that race yesterday. Chicago sports, Anthony Davis, 32. Pelicans over the Bulls, 107-98. College hoops, DePaul over Bethune-Cookman last night, while the Fighting Illini lift the lid on the regular season, at home against Evansville this evening. On AM 560 last night, Northern Illinois crushed Toledo in the MAC, 38-15. The news is a service of E-Verify. Let's get to work with E-Verify, the modernized employment eligibility verification partner that can maximize your potential. They're helping employers throughout the hiring process so they can focus on other business. Get started at everify.gov/go. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity sees a shaky foundation.
Now that there's irrefutable and incontrovertible evidence that it's the highest-ranking members of the FBI and DOJ that are involved in nefarious activities and abuse of power to prevent one person from becoming president, the house of cards is beginning to tumble.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
The school year started just a short time ago, but it's not too late for your son or daughter to get the outstanding education and preparation for life that St. John's Northwestern Military Academy offers with their ongoing enrollment program. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. And there's still time to enroll your son or daughter for this school year. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Noted author, former chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user Dr. Bob Arnott.
The human body has billions of pain receptors. Block those receptors with the anesthetics found in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, and you'll have relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Plus contains 2 anesthetics, including the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. They numb aggravated nerves for effective, lasting relief. For relief, try what I use, Salonpas Lidocaine Plus.
In the silver box with the blue wave.
Visiting Angels is America's choice in senior home care. We believe your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels provides personal home care up to 24 hours per day, including meals and light housework. Ask about our dementia care at home. You'll select your professional caregiver. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy it before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
Get Smart Chicago. Smart 911 is here. Enroll now at smart911.com to create your safety profile, which will better help first responders get you the help you need. Enroll now at smart911.com.
It is 6:08. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In northwest Indiana, traffic is stop and go on westbound 8094 from Burr to Indianapolis Boulevard. A crash there has cleared. All lanes are open again. Northbound I-65 traffic's been tight, 8094 to 15th Avenue due to ongoing construction. The Edens Expressway is fine. Inbound Kennedy, it's about 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown. It's tight Cumberland to Harlem. About 21 minutes to the airport, about Eisenhower. Slow Wolf to First Avenue and Demon to the Burns Circle. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Now Stevenson bottled up First Avenue to Kedzie, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Bryan, 19 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 19 minutes, I-80 to the merge. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
33 at O'Hare. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Breezy day with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour for the morning. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun today with a high 44. Partly cloudy night, low 27. Some sun, then clouds increasing tomorrow with a high 42. Little snow accumulating up to an inch tomorrow night, low 30. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
In our 1 hour heating and air conditioning weather center, it's 34 along the lakefront and 32 in Aurora. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So another one of these tragic events we're covering this morning, of course, the mass shooting in Thousand Oaks, California, at a country bar there. 11 attendees to the bar, people that were patrons of the bar, murdered. Deputy sheriff for the local county, Ventura County, murdered. And then the shooter also found dead. The report was that by the time police got to the shooter, he was dead. So it appears to be self-inflicted.
Yep. And the person that was killed, Sergeant Ron Halis, 29-year veteran. He was looking to retire next year. He leaves behind a wife and a child. And according to the Ventura County Sheriff, he called them before he went in and tried to stop the shooter.
Sergeant Halis died at the... The sergeant passed away at the hospital about an hour ago.
The other victims include, we're not sure, but we know that people were there from Pepperdine University. They had a dorm building outing there at the country bar. It's called Borderline Bar and Grill, but it's a 3,000 square foot dance floor. It's, a place where students go from nearby California Lutheran, and they said it was just chaotic trying to escape the gunman, who, by the way, entered through the front door wearing all black. They said, one witness said that he looked Middle Eastern. He wasn't shouting anything, but that he used smoke bombs, and he just started firing wildly into the crowd.
It was chaos, people jumping out of windows, hopping over gates, just trying to get out. From what I heard, that the gunman started shooting at the front desk, and then from there, I'm not sure. Students or friends that I have that are in there reported that students are hiding in the attics and bathrooms and stuff like that. So
terrible night.
And
so it was a planned attack.
Yeah, and the thing that he walked in, shot the bouncer first, then shot the cashier, who they described as a very young girl. They said they haven't found an assault rifle, but they have found a handgun on the scene, and that when they made entry later on, the suspect or the gunman was deceased, so they were seeing whether or not he was shot by police or if he turned the gun on himself. But it's just heartbreaking to know that the sheriff was a months away from retiring.
Sergeant Hillis was on the force for 29 years, was looking to retire in the next year or so. He was a Moore Park resident and is survived by his wife and his son.
What is his name?
Ron Helus, Helus.
And the thing is, this is the second time that a gunman has entered a country venue. I know last year or 2 years ago, it was a Route 91 Harvest Festival in Las Vegas where 51 people were killed. Last night, 12 people murdered. And again, we don't know who this gunman is and what his motives were, but to me, nothing is more American than country. And that's a place where people would go to line dance and to have fun and to play and enjoy country music.
So while we await more details, which we'll pass on to you as well, Mike Scott in our newsroom, about motive, potentially about the background of the shooter, more details from the families of the victims as well. We know what will come in response to this, calls for stricter gun laws, whether or not there was any gun law that was violated here by the shooter, whether or not there was a weapon that would have been prevented in terms of the shooter's access had the laws been different. We don't know that yet either, but it doesn't matter for the response from certain quarters after mass shootings like this. So I found this story interesting from hotair.com. One of the responses in some places has been red flag laws to these mass shootings, right? That allows people to call in reports of gun owners who are acting erratically and may present a danger to themselves or others. It gives the police the right to show up and confiscate their firearms. Red flag laws. So Maryland has one. And a person called the police under this law on 61-year-old Gary Willis. The police rolled up to Mr. Willis's home. He answered the door holding his handgun. According to police, a Maryland protective order to remove guns from the household had been issued. They shot and killed Mr. Willis. He answered the door holding the handgun. He then placed the gun next to the door. When officers began to serve him the order, Willis became irate and grabbed his gun. One of the officers tried to take the gun from Willis, but instead Willis fired the gun. The second officer fired a gun, striking Willis, and he died at the scene, Willis. Officers on administrative leave pending the investigation, standard policy, and so on and so forth. So, and it'd be interesting to see those people who defend, like the guy in the South Shore who was packing and then resisted arrest and went for the gun in his waistband, was shot, people that were accosting the Chicago police, what they have to say about Mr. Willis here. I
love the idea of it, but also it is fraught with danger because you can have a dispute with your neighbor and you know they own a weapon and then call police just to get back at your neighbor.
Right.
That's the problem. And then when they come to take your weapon, people are probably confused, like, what are you trying to do? And then accidents happen and people die.
Or they resist. They resist. And Mr. Willis was wrong to grab his gun when police were present after he put it down. He was wrong to do that. What do you think you're going to do? Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do. And then he was wrong to struggle with police who tried to take his gun when he grabbed it because they're serving an order. Police are doing their job. The police aren't wrong in this instance. Mr. Willis was wrong. The question is, should the police have ever been there? It's the chain of events you set in motion with dubious, if not dangerous, public policy. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What do you think about sentimental laws which sound really good in theory? Red flag law. Hey, you see something, say something. You call the police, they get a protective order, they take somebody's guns away. Well, these are really fact-specific judgment calls, aren't they?
Yeah. And I'm always like, if one life is saved, it's worth it. But then the other part of me is saying that is just, it's too loosey-goosey. It's not, I mean, anybody can allege anything. It's like a lawsuit. You can get sued for something you never even did. It's just a lawsuit.
It's also the lives of others stuff. The East German Stasi type stuff. I don't want to overstate the case, but it's the idea that everybody is monitoring everybody and is ready to run to the authorities and have their neighbors' rights stripped under perhaps the flimsiest of claims or a misunderstanding of what was happening or seeing, or as you said, a disagreement, and you use the law to get back at somebody.
Because there's some nasty neighbor fights.
Because, you have a neighbor fight, then this guy's a hunter. I'll call the police and say he's acting erratically. Go get an order to take his guns away.
Just make up stuff.
And then when they say, well, he's, police, even if police say, this doesn't make sense. This guy seems straight away and perfectly stable. Oh, well, then I made a mistake. It could say the neighbor. Right? It's easy to just play out. It's red flag. Yeah. But it can end like this. And again, Willis, in this case, the 61-year-old Maryland man, handled it wrong. And he put police lives in danger, so they responded, based on what we know to be true, according to this report that's recounted at hotair.com. So I'm not blaming the police here. I don't use this sort of, I change my standard depending on who the perpetrator and the victim are, or the perpetrator and the, who the parties are. That's what the left does. That's why it'd be fascinating to hear from those people that are constantly antagonistic towards police in this case. So I'm not defending Willis. The question is the law that instigates unnecessary confrontations that put civilians' lives in jeopardy as well as police. Lewis in Dayton, Texas, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Amy, how you guys doing this morning?
Morning.
About this law, I really don't like it for the simple fact is, first of all, the police should have never been there to confiscate his weapon because of someone else's accusation. Because, Dan, I know you own weapons, I own weapons, and I'm sure that you get upset at times at people, and, that's not a reason to come into your home to take your weapon because you may become upset. Now, erratic behavior is a completely different situation. But now what's happening is you're leaving it to other individuals to judge that.
Lewis, let me just give you an example to highlight your point. I mean, there are people who believe gun ownership is indicative of being erratic. Just the fact that, hey, I know this guy has 10 guns or 12 guns. I think he's stockpiling. I think he's planning something just because he owns a lot of weapons, and so I'm going to enlist the police.
I agree, and like I stated before, I have multiple weapons. I have, shotguns, handguns, but I also have long-range weapons. And, I use them for recreational use and stuff like that, but, you've never heard of me or seen me on the news because, but again, like you said, you're leaving that judgment to other people to make, and that's where it becomes dangerous because, like Amy said, if somebody doesn't like you, somebody gets upset with you, then they can go ahead and form a lie and say, I believe this person's acting erratic.
Yeah, thanks for
we got an argument over hedges.
Right. Thanks for the call, Lewis. And the other thing, too, it'd be interesting to know in this case if there was any history of criminal behavior or mental instability in the case of this Mr. Willis who was killed by police. It'd just be interesting to know. Chris in Woodstock.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Here's the thing. I like to always say that safety and freedom are on like a sliding scale. Sure, we could all live in plastic bubbles and be completely safe, but you lose all your freedoms. You can always have a government agent watching to make sure you cross the street correctly, but you're losing your freedoms. Guns stop way more crimes than people committing crimes with guns, but you never hear about it. So by trying to create this perfect society, we're going to give up a ton of our freedoms. Is that what people really want?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well said, Chris. Thanks.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Mom. The funeral home called. They want their drapes back.
Oh, you're a funny one. What are you trying to say?
I love your home, but I think you need to update this house. It's time.
I would love that, but I just don't have time to be traipsing all over Chicagoland looking for new window treatments.
Let's call them window coverings, and I have just a solution. Call 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO. They bring the store to you.
Give your home an easy and affordable makeover. 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO knows window coverings. They know blinds, shades, shutters, and precise installation. But they really know how to make your family home a comfortable place and for a lot less than you'd expect for custom window coverings. New blinds or shades can help with heat reduction, privacy, and make you fall in love with your home all over again. With an in-house installation crew, you can count on a personal touch and quality custom blinds with 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO. Connect directly at 1-800-4BLINDCHICAGO.com. That's 1-800-4BLINDSCHICAGO.com.
I love MyPillow and how it's changed the way I sleep. So when I heard about the new MyPillow mattress topper, I couldn't wait to try it. Now I don't know if I love MyPillow or the MyPillow mattress topper more. It's that good. And you can get a great deal on a MyPillow mattress topper and start getting the best sleep of your life. The exclusive 3-layer design includes the MyPillow foam for support, transitional foam to help relieve pressure points, and an ultra-soft, patented temperature-regulating cover that you can put in the washer and dryer. Yes, that's right. It has a 10-year warranty and, of course, that 60-day money-back guarantee. It's made in the US of A and has Mike Lindell's guarantee. So you'll get the total body support you need and sleep better. And right now, you'll save 30% when you use promo code Amy. Plus, you'll receive 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Or you can still receive the buy one, get one free offer if you just want the MyPillows. It's perfect for the holiday season. Give yourself the gift of a great night's sleep and give the other MyPillow to someone you love. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or simply call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
When you're looking for a special and creative way to thank your customers for their business or to follow up with your clients, gift it forward with KP Toffee. Your business associates deserve something different and exceptional that will be remembered. Or maybe you'd like to show your employees some appreciation for a project or job well done, and gift it forward with KP Toffee. Or just the right gourmet gift that stands out, makes an impression, and shows that you went above and beyond. Give scrumptious KP Toffee. KP Toffee is a Wisconsin-made gourmet English toffee topped with rich premium chocolate and pecans. The award-winning toffee is completely handmade with their secret recipe. The premium ingredients and carefully controlled process give it a perfectly unique crunch. KP Toffee is available in milk, dark, and white chocolate flavors, plus some amazing specialty flavors and KP Toffee Popcorn Crunch and the KP Toffee Pretzel Twist. See all the goodies KP Toffee has to offer and shop online today to make gift giving special. KPToffee.com. That's KPToffee.com.
Do you want your basement dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. Permaseal hears story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't wait for your living room or bedroom to get wet. You wouldn't stand for that. Then why do you settle with a wet basement? The Permaseal team believes that your basement should be dry no matter how hard it rains. That's right. You can have a permanently dry basement. Just give them a call, 1-800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Roy Spencer started Permaseal back in 1979, and it's still a local, Chicagoland family business doing the right thing and standing behind their work. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325 or permaseal.net.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that? Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Just a quick update on the mass shooting in Thousand Oaks, California at that country western bar. Police are saying now that some of the survivors from last night's shooting were also at the Route 91 Harvest Festival in Las Vegas that left 59 people dead. And it was Wednesday nights are college theme nights, so they had students as young as 18 years old there. And another witness came forward saying that he was yelling something, but she couldn't understand because he had a dark shirt on, a black hoodie, black pants, and a black scarf over his face. But he walked in shooting up at the ceiling. So.
Well, that'd be interesting because the original reports is from witnesses they didn't hear him say anything. So now one witness has, and you wonder if more witnesses who are closer to him maybe heard what, if anything, he said. So we'll keep updating that story. Also, this still talking about Tuesday's election, some of the returns. Colorado voters voted to abolish slavery. Which is seemingly redundant, although it's a little bit more complicated than that. They voted in favor of an amendment to the state's constitution that would abolish slavery. Yeah, okay, got that. But also striking language that allows slavery or involuntary servitude in the case that it is a punishment for crime. That language mirrors the Constitution's 13th Amendment, which includes that clause that bans slavery and servitude except as punishment. So it's a little bit more complicated, so we shouldn't be careless with language or the Constitution, but this is what sentimental barbarians do. So now what you're going to have
is what?
Prisoners' lawsuits.
Oh.
That will invoke the measure to advance claims against prisons for having prisons that have, people work in prisons.
Oh,
is that not involuntary servitude, Your Honor?
Yep.
That's why the language was in the 13th Amendment, and that's why those who drafted the Colorado State Constitution incorporated it. But, don't do anything sensible. Don't think through anything. Don't attach actions and consequences. Just do what feels good, dopes.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Florida, Ohio, big turnout, and it benefited Republicans. Illinois, big turnout, up 20%, and it decimated Republicans. Golly, I wonder what the difference is at 6:36.
And later, President Trump shames Republicans who lost after not embracing him, and El Chapo wants a hug. We'll explain, but first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
33 degrees, skies are gray, and we're headed for some snow later tonight into tomorrow. Ventura County, California Sheriff's Deputy, a gunman, and 11 others are dead following a shooting at a Thousand Oaks, California bar. Ventura County Sheriff Jeffrey Dean says Sergeant Ron Hellis was one of the first deputies to respond and was shot multiple times.
The sergeant passed away at the hospital about an hour ago. Sergeant Hellis was on the force for 29 years, was looking to retire in the next year or so. He was a Moore Park resident and is survived by his wife and his son.
About a dozen more were injured when the gunman opened fire last night inside the Borderline Bar and Grill during a college country night. It was packed. Authorities say the suspect was dead upon arrival. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is out. The president asking for Sessions' resignation yesterday. The president has made it clear in the past that he has not been pleased with his recusal from the Russia probe.
And if he was going to recuse himself, he should have told me prior to taking office, and I would have quite simply picked somebody else.
The president has been critical of Sessions since then. Votes are still being counted in the midterm elections. 15 races still too close to call, but Senate races should soon be decided in Arizona, Florida, and Mississippi in favor of the GOP, unless there is a recount. On the 12 unresolved House races, Democrats are favored to win 9, but there are many cases of provisional balloting that may benefit Republicans, according to local experts on the scene. Chicago area could feel a lot of winter weight tonight. Snow will likely fall less than a half an inch in the city, up to 2 inches on grassy areas in the western suburbs, and likely only a few flakes and some rain right along the lakefront. Public health managers in Illinois say more people are getting sick with a polio-like disease. The Department of Public Health yesterday saying acute flaccid myelitis in the state is up to 16 cases. Nationally, hundreds. Students and staff are a bit on edge after alleged racist graffiti was found at an Oak Park River Forest High School. For a second time in less than 1 week, the school held a community meeting last night, and police say they are investigating after a graffiti targeting an African-American special ed teacher was found last week on a shed on campus. Mayor Emanuel names 5 teams of architects as finalists for the huge taxpayer-funded O'Hare expansion project. That group includes Santiago Calatrava of Zurich in New York. They designed that busted-out Spire project from 2008. Skidmore Owings Merrill also making the final cut. Denver's Fentress Architects, London's Foster & Partners, and Chicago's Studio Gang. Chicago sports. Pelicans over the Bulls, 107-98 on AM 560 last night. Northern Illinois continue their romp in the MAC. They're now 6-0 after a 38-15 win over Toledo. Another change could be coming to the Cubs coaching staff. Reports say Jim Hickey may not be returning as pitching coach. The news is a service of E-Verify and by Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio and do your part to release a child from poverty today. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560. The answer.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get a $79 furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
What does building a better bank look like? It starts with building Capital One cafes. Warm, inviting places that feel nothing like a typical bank. Where you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. And you'll always find people ready to help you, not sell you. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Cafes available in select locations. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Got an email last night from a lady in Florida who doubted my sincerity about Relief Factor until she tried it. She tried Relief Factor. In her case, it took her almost 3 weeks, and she woke up pain-free. Relief Factor was the answer she's been looking for. This makes my 60 seconds to tell you about Relief Factor some of the happiest times of my day, because I know people are going to get the relief that they've been craving. You can get all the pain relief benefits of Relief Factor without the negative side effects of ibuprofen or prescription drugs. Physicians created Relief Factor as a crucial way to support the body's fights against aches and pains. So no matter your age, maybe you're just too sore after a great workout at the gym, or if you're like me and you're of a certain age and you want to start dealing with the aches and pains of life, give Relief Factor a try. The 3-week quick start is $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks. It's $19.95. Decide if it's for you or not. ReliefFactor.com. ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-500-8384. 800-500-8384. Relief Factor.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megyn Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:36. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Westbound 8094, traffic is stop and go Grant to Klein. Crash in the two right lanes. Then it's heavy approaching Indianapolis Boulevard after an earlier collision. I-65 has slight roadwork delays in both directions. 8094 and 15th Avenue. Edens is okay. The Kennedy, 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 23. About Eisenhower delays start at Wolf. It is 44 minutes. 390 to downtown, outbound 33. On Stevenson, jammed First Avenue to Kedzie. 52 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 22 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 23 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 420. About Tri-State heavy, 115th to Archer, Plainfield Road to 47th, Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. It's traffic. I'm Chip Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Considerably cloudy today. Most of the day we'll see clouds, chilling, 40. Snow begins overnight, low 29, and a slippery start to the morning tomorrow. We'll top out at 37 on Friday. 33 right now. Next news coming up at 7 with breaking news as it happens. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by On Target Radio. From firearms and Second Amendment rights to personal freedoms and government intrusions. Listen here Sunday nights at 9.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The era of civility began on Tuesday night when it became clear the Democrats were going to take control of the House. Nancy Pelosi will be Speaker again, and everybody will have been chastened from the incendiary rhetoric, particularly in the wake of violence, like the shooting in Pittsburgh at that synagogue. And, of course, we're covering another horrific event this morning, this mass shooting at a country bar in Thousand Oaks, California, where 12 are dead, including a deputy sheriff, and the shooter is also dead for a total of 13. But
yeah, Sergeant Ron Hellis, by the way, 20-year veteran about to retire next year, leaves behind a wife and a child who he called before he went into that bar.
People are asking President Trump if he's willing to talk to House Democrats, try and achieve compromises on legislation where there's disagreements, and the response has been Jared Naylor saying they're going to move forward with impeachment and demands for his tax returns, and Adam Schiff salivating as subpoenas are being drawn up. Salivating at the prospect of spending the next 2 years investigating President Trump and the rich vicissitudes of his administration.
And yesterday at that 87-minute press conference, he said that, he's willing to work with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
It really could be a beautiful bipartisan type of situation. We have a lot of things in common on infrastructure. We want to do something on health care. They want to do something on health care. There are a lot of great things that we can do together.
And Mitch McConnell had a presser, too, and he gave the House and Senate Democrats, particularly the House Democrats, since they're in charge, some advice and counsel on impeachment, since Jared Naylor's frothing to get started.
That the business of presidential harassment, which we were deeply engaged in the late 90s, improved the president's approval rating and tanked ours. Thus, my observation that might not be a smart strategy, but it's up to them to decide how they want to handle that.
It is up to them. It may not be a smart strategy, and they're going to pursue it.
They
Guaranteed.
And when President Trump, they asked him, said, well, they're going to go after your tax returns. And then President Trump changed his tune a little bit.
If they do that, then it's just all it is a warlike posture. I could see it being extremely good politically because I think I'm better at that game than they are, actually.
I think you are too, and I think they're going to find that out because that's exactly what's going to happen. And all of this airy talk of bipartisanship and sitting down with Pelosi and Pagliacci and hammering out details on important policy areas is so much fiction that you would have to have observed nothing that has gone on in the past 3 years to believe that is what will come to pass. Or the last 3 hours, and I'm not talking about the shooting, I'm talking about this. Activists ring doorbell, gather out activists. Ring doorbell.
Community leaders or activists? What's the difference, really?
Thugs
okay.
is what they're
Arm twisters?
euphemising, yes. Activists ring doorbell, gather outside Fox News personality Tucker Carlson's home. Tucker Carlson, we will fight. We know where you sleep at night, was the chant.
Oh, my gosh. They're so creative.
Smash
Did
race.
Jesse Jackson write that for him?
The Twitter account that was fomenting the mob outside Tucker Carlson's home was suspended. Police were called and the mob dispersed, but a leftist mob, Antifa-esque, maybe Antifa proper, showed up to Carlson's home, posted pictures of his address online, demanded he flee the city of Washington, D.C. One of the protesters went up to Carlson's front door, where they left a sign with his family's home address written on it and rang the doorbell. A ding-dong without the ditch, I guess.
Did they leave a bag of something on fire?
They just led...
front doorstep?
They were just chanting...
Just TP him.
Racist scumbag, leave town. Tucker Carlson, we will fight. We know where you sleep at night. No borders, no walls, no USA at all. There's your protesters. Megyn Kelly denounced, she tweeted, she's got a lot of time on her hands.
Oh, hey, be nice.
Denounced the mob tactics. This has to stop. Who are we? What are we becoming? Tucker Carlson is tough and can handle a lot, but he doesn't deserve this. His family doesn't deserve this. It's stomach turning. That's what Megyn Kelly tweeted. This is the same Smash Racism DC, which is like sort of an Antifa outgrowth, I guess. Was also responsible for chasing Ted Cruz out of that restaurant with his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Glad they're keeping busy, especially, the day after the election.
Yeah, sure. Their work never stops. They also published the home addresses of Tucker Carlson's brother, Ann Coulter, and Sean Hannity. So, again...
you're not even safe in your own home.
And by the way, Tucker Carlson, he's married with 4 kids.
I know. So why take it out on the children, too? Why even do that at all? It's just harassment, it's bullying, and it's stupid, and they should get arrested.
So how are you enjoying this new era of bipartisan civility that both sides have called for in some form or fashion? Any questions that are being asked of the left with respect to their base? Can we not treat Antifa and those thugs outside Tucker Carlson's home the same way that the D.C. press corps treats, one dipstick neo-Nazi they come upon and uses that person to say this is the Republican Party? Well, then, by that standard, wouldn't you say that these activists are the Democrat Socialist Party? Right? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What would you do if a mob of people showed up outside your home and started chanting and went up and rang your doorbell, posted a sign on your door, trespassing on your private property? What would you do? Roosevelt in Midway, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Just have a quick, direct question, simple question. How tough can you be when you can't even handle the press? As far as I'm concerned,
can't handle the press.
Who can't handle the press?
He
took it out on the press because when he wins, he rubs it in. We're still hearing about put Hillary in jail, so he didn't look too happy to me. My opinion, I think he took it out on the press.
Took it out on the press because he got into a row with Jim Acosta, and he got tired of answering the same questions he's been answering for the last 2 weeks. Same questions, same answers, same propaganda from the left. So what? What's your point? He took it out in the press, and so what? And so what, Roosevelt? Oh, I guess you don't answer questions.
Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't hear you. What I'm saying
turn down
is
your
that
radio.
I did.
Okay, good.
How is he going to handle Putin? How is he going to stand up to this for this country when he can't? Did you guys forget Helsinki? How he acted like a puppy dog?
Really?
I mean, come on.
No,
as a man.
No,
as
but
I'm asking you. I'm asking you as a man. Did you feel proud of him as a man? Forget about leader. Forget about president. As a man, I even felt ashamed of him. For him.
For when?
The way he acted.
handled it a little
at
bit
Helsinki, are you talking about? We're litigating Helsinki.
It was horrible. I
Yeah.
never seen a president do that in my lifetime, and I'm 62 years old.
He's a savvy businessman. He knows what he's doing. We have to put a little trust
I'm
in
not
him.
talking. No. He is a president. Forget
know
about
this.
business, man. That's left behind.
No, it's not left behind.
Well, and Helsinki's left behind too. Look, so we covered that, and I didn't like his performance at Helsinki. However,
it was horrible.
Yeah, I got it. Roosevelt, I heard you 5 times the first time. I get it. Now, what about his actual policy choices, the actual policies he's proposed with Russia, the sanctions he's imposed? He has actually been fairly tough on Putin, and even scholars of the left have had to concede that point. So that matters too. And I don't know what taking it out in the press has to do with Helsinki, has to do with the policy choices he's made.
Alternative perception is reality nowadays. It's no longer reality is reality. Reality is reality.
Maybe for you.
Perception is this is the way it is. Alternative reality, remember? Right?
What about the sanctions he's imposed on the Russians has to do with alternative reality? That's reality.
What about the sanctions? Okay, this is for now. I mean, it's an act. Everything is an act.
Okay, you can't respond. Got it. Thank you, Roosevelt. Yeah, I mean, everything is an act. Everything is repeating the same thing I've just repeated 5 times. Okay, there's not a conversation. You just want to vent on Trump because you don't like his personality and you don't like some of his pronouncements and you don't like the way he communicates often. Okay, fine. So do that. And then what do you got? And then what do you want? Did you send him a message yesterday? Is that what you did by voting for Madigan roll call votes in Illinois, Roosevelt? Are you going to send him a message by voting for, the fungible socialists for mayor of Chicago? I'm going to show you. I'm going to destroy my my state's economy. That'll teach him. Are you 3 years old, Roosevelt, and people who think like that? I'll tell you what, I'm going to stick it to President Trump by destroying my home value. Take that, President Trump. There's more where that came from. I'm also going to have more of my money taken by the state. I showed him. You guys are kindergartners. People like Roosevelt. I didn't like when he was a man in Helsinki. Oh, really?
Because there's a man answered the question. Okay.
Are you talking about that effete Hyde Park dandy that we had for 8 years prior to him? Are you talking about all these manly men in charge of Illinois? In Chicago?
That are talking about little houses for the homeless? They're going to move into the little house. They're the lollipop gang.
Exactly.
They're 5'1" at tops.
You have to have
baby.
Somebody come over and cut Mike Madigan's apple for him for lunch. He just forced a ballerina out of office after 7 years. What the hell are you talking about? Manly men. These manly men, Democrats.
They need booster seats.
You get pushed around by a bunch of people wearing pea hats. Manly men. Caitlyn Jenners of the world. People that say, I'm this, I'm that, because this is what I feel like. Manly men. Susana Mendoza's going to stick that soccer ball where the sun don't shine, and you're going to, Jay, you're manly man.
Because she's got a hot husband. Woo!
The biggest bunch of pansies out there, the left. And all you manly men, including you manly men, trade unions. I'm a steel worker. I'm an operating engineer. I'm a hunter, manly man. That's why I want Nancy Pelosi to be speaker. What the hell are you talking about?
Hottest 79-year-old out there.
That's why all these suburban. It's just ridiculous. Manly men. There aren't any men anymore. Certainly not on the left. If you vote for this Democrat Socialist Party, turn in your man card. Mike on the north side.
He's a real man.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Go a little easy on Roosevelt, because he knows in 2 weeks at Thanksgiving he's going to have to sit at the kid table again.
Yeah, right.
And he's in one of the little chairs. But I just wanted to say, President Trump should stick it to the press. Make it hard on them. Bully them like they're trying to bully him. First off, move the press room out of the White House. That's a security breach. Move it across the street to the executive office building. They don't have the cachet working at the White House. You make them queue up at 8:30, make them stand outside in the cold and the rain and the snow with their equipment at 9 o'clock. You let them come into a Spartan room with no amenities, no chairs, no tables, stand for an hour, and then at 10 o'clock, we might have a press conference. And you put those scanners on as soon as they walk in so their cell phones go dead, so they have to stand there. And when they're taking their pictures in front of the White House and filming, you open up the sidewalk, you let everybody walk by, hit them with a snowball, put rabbit ears, walk in front of their shot, give them a backward slap to the crotch, nut check. Oh, sorry, lady, just check it. Had to make sure. And you let them get bullied. They're nobody special. They have a journalism degree, okay? They don't have a medical degree. They're not in a third world hospital saving children's lives. They're an elitist scum who wants to be pampered and wants to be looked up to. But you just treat them like garbage. And then when they can't take it anymore, you send them over to Rahm Emanuel's brother, Zeke. He can have one of his death panels end it for him.
Okay, thanks for the call, Mike. You've given that a lot of thought. Too much thought, some might say. Hey, you don't have to treat them with anything other than respect, but you don't have to be a pincushion either. And at that press conference yesterday, Trump wasn't a pincushion. Can't take the press. You just sit there and take it. The same questions so they can write this to set up the same stories. Mr. President, you're a racist who's courting racists. Please respond. Headline, Trump denies he's a racist courting racists. That's your D.C. press corps. So you should just play their game because they're the journalists, the fourth estate. No. And all these Democrats. I just can't get over the manly men thing. Being led around by the nose by Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There's a couple of manly men. Manly men. Good grief. Grant and Rockford.
By the way, Engine 78, we're manly men here.
Yeah.
Firefighters, manly men.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Well, they are.
Good morning, you two. That was a good little segment right there. I tell you what, there's nothing to get the morning started by like a deranged liberal. So anyway, if I got a group of Antifa thugs outside my house, I give them the Joe Biden treatment. You take that double barrel shotgun, you go out on the porch and you watch those vagina hats scatter like the vagina hats they are. You guys have a good day.
Thanks.
Hats.
Thanks,
right?
Grant. Appreciate it. He can say that.
You can say the V word.
It's just creepy, but he can say it.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dimes. Georgia Democrat refuses to concede. Consumer borrowing up nearly $11 billion in September. And smartphones about to reveal a new breakthrough. Those stories next.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Hey guys, it's Scott Bauer here, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Are you looking for a super hot stock tip? Here at Prosper, we are always looking for exciting opportunities in the markets. And right now, all my students are salivating over the stock we are watching. In fact, I've got this hot stock written down right here, and I'm about to text it to you for free. I just need to know where to send it. Simply text HOT to 48542, and I'll text it to you instantly. How do I know this stock is so hot? Well, I'm a former CBOE market maker for Amazon Options, former vice president of Goldman Sachs, and I have over 25 years of professional trading experience. I'm telling you, this stock is hot. But be warned, the stock may move soon, so you need to claim it before it does. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Message and data rates may apply.
Although the votes have piled up against her, Georgia Democrat Stacey Abrams refuses to concede defeat in her race for governor, trailing Republican Brian Kemp by 15,000 votes. She hopes absentee ballots and provisional ballots will close the gap. Consumers increased their borrowing by almost $11 billion in September. The September numbers failed to meet economists' expectations, however, but most of the increases in auto loans and student loans. After recent slumps in sales, the smartphone industry says the next big innovation will be flexible screens that can be folded in half without breaking. Samsung just offered a preview of the new screen technology. Samsung says it releases it next year, a cost of $1,000 per screen. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
This stuff is the best stuff I've ever taken. I don't take any medicine. I take nothing. If I get a little scratchy throat or even a headache, I take the vegetables. It works very fast. Or I'm feeling like a little down, tired, I take 3 of them, 4 of them, and I'm right up back to where I was. It's unreal how this stuff works, and I rave about it. This guy's a genius when it comes down to it. If anyone's skeptical about taking something, I get it. There's thousands of products out there. Look, you can be confident in this because the one thing that makes me really, really happy about is that you guys make the capsule out of a plant-based product. It's not crap. It's real food, like you would put on the dinner table.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The fall months are here, and now's the best time to get your home ready for the winter. So whether you want to remodel the den for football season or fix up the house before family comes for the holidays, Home Advisor can help. Home Advisor is the easiest way to find top-rated pros for any home project, big or small. Just go to homeadvisor.com, tell them about your project. In seconds, you'll be matched with the very best local pros for the job. You can read customer reviews on the professionals, check their availability, book appointments online. You can even check what others paid for similar projects in your area, all for free. It's amazing. Whatever you need help with, cleaning the gutters, cleaning the carpets, remodeling the kitchen, no job too big or too small for my friends at Home Advisor. Let Home Advisor take the stress off your plate this fall. Just go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app to get started on your next home project. Just go to homeadvisor.com, homeadvisor.com.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
This is a Fox News alert. A gunman goes on a killing spree at a bar in California. I'm Dave Anthony. That's what it sounded like at the Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks. The sound courtesy of RMG News. As a hooded man dressed in black opened fire.
I hear some loud pop, pop, pop. All of a sudden I see my stepdad dive to the ground. And he says, hide, hit the deck.
And he got a good look at the shooter.
He didn't say anything. The only thing you hear is screaming and people, just yelling.
He had 2 rounds that I know with him. He changed them within about 6 seconds, which was really fast.
In the end, he murdered 11 people and was packed on a college country night in that bar. He also killed a sheriff's sergeant responding to the shooting, Ron Helis.
As I told his wife, he died a hero because he
He went in to save lives, to save other people.
That's Ventura County Sheriff Jeff Dean. That sergeant was planning to retire soon. As many as 20 other people were injured. The gunman's also dead. It's not clear if he killed himself. President Trump just tweeted, calling it terrible, adding, God bless the victims and their families, adding great bravery shown by police. Now, with the next Congress divided, the president and Nancy Pelosi, who may be the next House Speaker, have both said they want to work together, but House Democrats may be readying investigations into the White House. And there's another controversy at the Justice Department now that the president's ousted Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has a message for whoever replaces Sessions. Hands off the Russia probe.
They should not be able to end it. They should not be able to limit it. They should not be able to interfere with Mueller going forward and doing what he thinks is the right thing.
President Trump named Matthew Whitaker as a temporary replacement. Democrats want him to recuse himself. Whitaker has publicly questioned the probe and whether it's gone too far. Dave.
This is Fox News.
Cloudy skies, 33 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Could be some winter-like weather going into this evening, so prepare. National Weather Service says snow will likely fall overnight. Less than 1/2 of an inch accumulation on grassy areas in the city. More out in the western suburbs, up to 2 inches, and maybe just rain right along the Lake Michigan shoreline. Public health managers in Illinois say more people are coming down with a polio-like disease. The Department of Public Health saying acute flaccid myelitis, the outbreak, in the state is up to 16 cases. All but one of those who are sick are under the age of 18. In a procedural filing, Superintendent Eddie Johnson has put his name on paperwork that brings charges yesterday with the city's police board that recommend the firing of Officer Robert Rialmo for multiple rule violations. The superintendent, however, believes Rialmo was justified when the officer shot Quintonio Legrier and bystander Betty Jones while responding to a domestic disturbance on the west side in 2015, and has said so publicly. The police board will now hold hearings to decide if they believe Rialmo should lose his job. Chicago Police Union cutting ties with an attorney who represents convicted former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke. The FOP voting against recommending the services of Daniel Herbert. Cook County judge is out of a job. Voters are not retaining Matthew Coughlin during Tuesday's election. He becomes the first Cook County judge since 1990 to be removed by voters. Coughlin had been tied to wrongful conviction cases and for his handling of the John Burge case. The University of Illinois at Chicago historian receiving a prestigious national award. School says that Barbara Rainsby will be the recipient of the American Studies Association Angela Davis Prize for Public Scholarship. She'll be honored Friday at a ceremony at the annual meeting of the association in Atlanta. Bulls fall in New Orleans, 107-98. Zach Levine had 22 in the Bulls' loss. College hoops, DePaul beat Bethune-Cookman last night, and the Fighting Illini lift the lid on the regular season against Evansville this evening. On AM 560 last night, Marcus Childers ran for 2 scores through another. Northern Illinois crushed Toledo in the MAC 38-15. The news service of Eggland's Best Organic Eggs. Only the best for your family. Going organic? Then go with the best. Eggland's Best Organic Eggs, more farm fresh taste, and 100% organic quality. Superior nutrition, too. For your family, it should be Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank. I'd like to thank our customers for selecting Signature as their trusted banking partner to help build their businesses. We started Signature in 2006, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many hardworking Chicagoans. From third-generation family-owned businesses on the west side of Chicago to tech innovators at 1871. Signature Bank is proud to work across many different industries in the city and beyond. As the fastest-growing, independently owned business bank in Chicago, Signature is always welcoming new customers. I'd love to meet you and learn about your business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy it before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
Do you need extra money for all your favorite holiday festivities this year? Get funding that fits your lifestyle with CreditBox. Visit creditbox.com now and complete your easy online application for instant pre-approval. That's creditbox.com. Restrictions may apply.
7:08. Get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Eden's inbound delays start at Peterson, 26 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. How about 24? Kennedy, 37 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 16 in the Express. Outbound 33 minutes to O'Hare. But Eisenhower delays are from Manheim to the Circle, 49 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 45. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 37. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 32 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 425. Northbound Tri-State delays are Cicero to the 83rd Street toll, Plainfield Road to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway most of the way to Balmoral. It's heavy on 8094 westbound Broadway decline. Crash now blocking 3 right lanes. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and chilly with a high 40. Mostly cloudy tonight with a little late night snow. Accumulation of a coating to an inch. Watch for slippery spots on bridges and overpasses late at night. We'll have a low of 29. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
33 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30, Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, updating this terrible story out of Thousand Oaks, California. 12 dead, including a deputy sheriff in a country bar shooting. Shooter also dead at the scene, apparently self-inflicted gunshot wound, and we're hearing from more witnesses to provide some color.
Yeah, it was college night at the country bar Borderline, which is a huge country and western bar, and this one girl she's familiar with weapons. she saw him reload.
He had 2 rounds that I know with him. He changed them within about 6 seconds, which was really fast.
Taylor, describe the gunman and his shooting, because apparently you told some folks that you thought you saw him reload. Did you see anybody actually get shot by him?
I saw 3 people get shot by him. As soon as he walked in, he had perfect form. I'm born in a military family, and I've been around guns my entire life. I've been shooting them. I've seen them. I've cleaned them, so I know a bit about them. And he looked like he knew what he was doing. He had practiced. He had been shooting before.
All of the information that has come out so far paints the picture of a planned attack.
Yes, and he was wearing all black hoodie, black pants, they said, a black scarf. Some said that he didn't say anything. Others said that they heard him yelling something, but they couldn't, decipher what he was saying. But he threw smoke bombs before he went in, and then they said he just randomly started shooting at people. We know that the bouncer, there's multiple reports that he was shot, and the young cashier was college night, so you could get in at the age of 18. Pepperdine, some students from Pepperdine University were there. Some students from the Lutheran College, California Lutheran, were there. It's just so, but again, it's country music. Nothing's more American than country music. So we don't know who this person is. One witness said he was of Middle Eastern descent. They thought that, and again, they don't know if it's a terrorist attack or not, but nothing right now is off the table.
I only mentioned it might be terrorist because that's where we all go these days when we have multiple shootings like this. There's no reason for it, and we have this horrific death. I have nothing to lead me to believe, or the FBI, that there is any terrorism link here, but we certainly will look at that option.
All right, and we'll keep you updated as more information becomes available, more witnesses offer their perspectives on what they saw, as well as anything, of course, that law enforcement, both local and federal, has to say.
But I was so impressed with that woman that young girl, 19 years old, who we just played her interview. She was so calm, cool, and collected after seeing something so horrific.
Yeah.
But she understands how guns work. She's shot before. She's cleaned rifles before. She's cleaned handguns. So I was just impressed with her composure, how composed she was.
All right, well, let's switch gears. We've got to tackle some political matters as well. The president giving a post-election press conference yesterday.
Did he ever? 87 minutes.
That was rather provocative. Most of the provocation coming from the D.C. press corps, but the president not just taking it lying down, and nor should he. The other thing and we'll get to the exchanges between the press, but one thing that has drawn some criticism from Republicans is Trump's naming of names of Republicans who welcome the embrace, as he's calling it, the embrace, ran with Trump, ran on the Trump policy agenda, if you will, as opposed to ran from Trump. And 3 Illinoisans' names, members of Congress, well, one still is going to be, the other 2 are not, were mentioned. President Trump having this to say, and the question of should he be naming names, criticizing Republicans who didn't run with Trump because they didn't think it was in their interest locally versus those who did and were successful. Here's the president.
Candidates who embraced our message of low taxes, low regulations, low crime, strong borders, and great judges excelled last night. They excelled. They really, we have a list of people that were fantastic. And I'm just going to point them out. Mike Bost, Rodney Davis, Andy Barr was fantastic. I went to Kentucky. For the most part, I didn't campaign for the House, but I did actually make a special trip for Andy Barr because he was in a very tough race in Kentucky, and he won. That was a very tough race. The polls were all showing that he was down, and down substantially, and he won. And that one I did do. Pete Stauber of Minnesota, great guy, he's new, and ran a fantastic race. On the other hand, you had some that decided to, let's stay away. They did very poorly. I'm not sure that I should be happy or sad. but I feel just fine about it. Carlos Cubella, Mike Kaufman. Too bad, Mike.
Too bad.
Mia Love.
This is the best one.
I saw Mia Love. She'd call me all the time to help her with a hostage situation, being held hostage in Venezuela. But Mia Love gave me no love, and she lost. Too bad. Sorry about that, Mia. And Barbara Comstock was another one. I mean, I think she could have won that race, but she didn't want to have any embrace. For that, I don't blame her. But she lost, substantially lost. Peter Roskam didn't want the embrace. Eric Paulson didn't want the embrace.
You get the point. Peter didn't want the embrace. Okay, Don Corleone. But well, your reaction to President Trump naming names of people who ran at least on the issues, the issue matrix, the issue agenda of the Trump administration, versus those who ran from it. Now, a couple of points of order. One, my misspeaking.
What?
I said 3 of the names in Illinois, only 1's returning. 3 of the names he mentioned, 2 are returning. Right. Rodney Davis and Mike Boss, downstaters.
And Rodney Hultgren, he embraced the embrace. Randy Hultgren.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was at the downstate rally with President Trump.
Well, I also don't think it's quite fair to say Peter Roskam didn't embrace Trump. I mean, we had him on many times in the last 2 years on the show where he was defending President Trump's decision-making in a range of policy areas. I mean, he voted for Obamacare repeal in place. Right. He voted for the tax cuts.
But he didn't go to that rally in Southern Illinois.
Well, right, but I don't know that's walking away from the embrace.
Hey, don't you dare walk away from the embrace.
Come to me, my children.
Kiss the ring.
He rejected the embrace. I mean, it's sort of colorful, but
Mia Love. Give me no love.
Mia Love, by the way.
That race hasn't been called yet.
70% of ballots cast. I don't know why it's taking so long.
What are they
Utah's
taking?
Fourth.
A horse and buggy?
70% reporting Mia Love is down 4,000 votes, so it doesn't look good, but it hasn't been called. But what about that? I mean, I mentioned this before. I'll mention it again. Dave Weigel tweeting out, coming on Tuesday, if you told Democrats they win 2 million votes in Ohio governor and 4 million votes in Florida governor, they would have been reasonably assured they'd win. The quote-unquote high turnout favors Dems mythos took a crippling blow. Right. Higher turnout in Ohio and Florida. Ohio Republican governor, Florida Republican governor, Florida Republican senator pickup. 20% higher turnout in Illinois.
Yeah.
Republicans decimated.
Destroyed.
So is Trump a factor in Roskam and Hultgren's losses? Yes. Was there some... Trump is upside down if you look at fave, unfave in those districts. That's just a fact. But there's something else more important going on in this state versus, say, Ohio, which is not a dissimilar state, and Florida. Ohio has suburban communities, higher Republican turnout, put Mike DeWine in the governor's mansion in Ohio. It had Bruce Rauner getting blown out by Spalding in Illinois. Process that. 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, Turnkey.pro text line. John in Gurnee.
Yes, good morning. President Trump failed to mention the biggest culprit in the loss of the House of Representatives, and that's the esteemed Speaker of the House, soon to be gone, Paul Ryan, who did absolutely nothing, stood in the way, and even found time at the last minute to attack Trump. The man is a destructive force, and thank God he's gone.
All right. Thanks, John.
I feel that way. How did he? I mean, he suggested that he focus more on the economy than this caravan during the last few days at his rallies, but I don't think he was.
Well, I don't even.
Or is there something I don't know?
No, the only thing I think Paul Ryan said in the closing days, he just said, you can't eliminate birthright citizenship by executive order. I mean, of course, the Speaker of the House is going to be asked that question when he's a Republican Speaker of the House. I don't think Paul Ryan was particularly antagonistic, though. I don't know. I mean, was his leadership inspired? No, it's debatable. Did he put together as much cash as the Democrats? No. And that certainly was a difference maker, too, with respect to some of these, like the Roscoe and Holcomb races, I would suggest. But it's hard to lay it at the blame of Paul Ryan as well.
What did you think? I mean, well,
you do have to take note that the important states that Trump won to put him in the White House, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, are now in the hands of Democrats.
Right, they all have and Democratic governors, and
so this is
scary.
Let's not be blind to some of the messages that were sent and some of the losses that were incurred. Let's not be blind to that.
Well, what did you think?
There's always room for improvement.
What did you think of President Trump shaming the Republicans who didn't embrace him?
I don't mind him naming names. It's the substance of the allegation that I'm more interested in. I mean, again, so Peter Roskam, I think the idea that he didn't welcome the embrace is
stretch.
Yeah. I don't really know the details of his relationship with Mia Love and the kind of campaign Mia Love ran and some of the others. Barbara Comstock for sure. I mean, she was a never Trumper. So okay, fine, you make the case. Yeah, I think it's more attitudinal is the point, and I think that's the point he should make. He can name names all he wants; it doesn't bother me. But what's the takeaway? And the takeaway is if you think and this is Illinois GOP again, big turnouts in Ohio, Florida, Republican, big turnout in Illinois, up 20% over 2014, hammering of Republicans. Something going on locally different here than in Ohio and Florida. Figure it out. Figure it out. And by the way, that's a message for all of the handful, and I literally mean handful, of Republican state legislators that are still left in office after that bloodbath on Tuesday. You want to just throw up your hands and stick with the same people leading the party, then you're next, because there's not going to be a Republican Party to support you anymore. It will cease to exist. Find your wits about you and your courage along with it. But attitudinally, you retreat and you think, I'm retreating so my opponent can't follow me. No, they can. They can chase you down and execute you. So the more important point than the naming of names and who's on which list is the ability to stand and deliver and fight back. Steve in Hinsdale.
I'm happy. I'm happy, Dan, that he named names. I wish he had thrown you in there too. The Republican Party here in Illinois is just bereft of anything. There's just no hope. It's a sad state of affairs. Final comment. You've got the trust fund baby. The first thing he does is legalize marijuana. So now we're going to have a bunch of stoners running around the state. It's really a sad affair. And I wish the Republican Party could just get their act together. Thanks. Have a great day.
Right. Did you hear the story out yesterday?
What?
J.B. Pritzker Spalding was in his limo, and his limo driver pulls over, and he asks a guy, "How do you get to 290?" And the guy, his JB asks the guy, "How do we get to 290?" And the guy says, "Lose 50 pounds."
Oh, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's good you have me. But yeah, J.B. Pritzker, his first agenda is to legalize marijuana so we can get $1 billion in tax revenue. Where are we going to put it? To the schools?
Or a mob economy.
This is good to the schools.
Drugs and gambling is how we finance government. We don't finance, but that's how we try to. So what do you think? Legalize prostitution? Should we do that next? What else do we got? The mob economy. I mean, we run extortion rackets. I mean, we run like protection money rackets. That's the state with respect to taxation on businesses as well as individuals.
Slot machines at O'Hare and Midway.
Well, I know. So more gambling,
there you go.
More drug legalization. Let's not limit it to marijuana.
What do you want to go with?
And prostitution, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Because that's how we run the state.
Big ideas he has for the big. That's a great joke. Where did you hear that, or did you make that one up?
It's actually an old Oprah joke.
Oh, well, you just put it in a different
repurpose
character.
it.
Where's 290?
John in Palatine.
That's so bad.
Hey, Dan and Amy, good morning. I just want to make 2 points.
I worked very hard for Roscom in my area, placing signs, walking, putting out the good word. And frankly, I kind of have to say that I think I did more work for Roscom than Roscom did. So I think, to be fair, Roscom had the last 12 years to do something for the citizens in his district. And the only blame that needs to be given on his loss is to Roscom himself. And the second point I want to make is I'm very happy that Acosta lost his White House access because, frankly, the president could read the giving tree to these D.C. press, and they wouldn't give him a break. So
right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, John. By the way,
was Roscom a bad candidate this time around?
I don't know. I think he's the same candidate he's been for the last 10 years, and he's been through some dogfights before. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what John saw, but it seemed to me Roscom was on the stick very early on, and he worked pretty hard, and his campaign messaged pretty hard. I think initially it was a money deficit. He's on cable TV, Kasten's on network. That makes a big difference. And just the volume of mail and communication saturating the district, that makes a difference. And then Roscom was playing catch up from Labor Day forward. On the state level too, by the way, just in case you don't think, oh, it's Proft, conservatives, blah blah blah. Chicago Tribune editorial board, the same editorial board that endorsed a lot of suburban Democrats. So I mean, not that they have clean hands, but it is worth noting, hardly conservatives. Coalesce around new, fresh leadership in the House and Senate. In an editorial entitled "Rebuilding the Shell-Shocked Illinois GOP." Coalesce around new, fresh leadership in the House and Senate, opines the Chicago Tribune Ed Board about the leaders of the House and Senate Republican caucuses in the state. Tim Schneider, the state party chairman, got thrown out along with the guy he was a flack for, the governor, thrown out of his Cook County commissioner's seat. He'll be gone as state party chairman, or the state party will be gone, one of the two. So if you want this to shrivel up and die right now, and this is a message you should be sending to, your legislators if they're Republicans. So there's not very many of you that will have to make calls. It's a message you should be sending. You just, rubber stamp the same old, then this place is one-party state, and we're out. Because there's nothing for us. Because there is no Republican Party. There are just junior partners to the Democrat Party protecting their fiefdoms.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Winners don't wait for chances. They take them, seizing opportunities that come their way, having the courage necessary to make the game-winning play when it's all on the line. It's what sets us apart from the rest. Your home for Husky basketball is right here on the Northern Illinois Huskies Sports Network.
Your NIU Huskies take on the Northern Kentucky Norse this Friday at 6. NIU basketball is on AM 560. The Answer.
Looking to save money on Medicare Part D? Well, Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy for many plans, including United Healthcare, which means lower copays for you. Together, Walgreens and United Healthcare make saving on Medicare Part D quick and easy. So bring your prescriptions to your nearest Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Napa has 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil or Valvoline full synthetic motor oil for $23.99. That's one heck of a deal for all-weather engine protection. So whether you're driving in Phoenix, Arizona, Duluth, Minnesota, or down the street to the grocery store, the right oil for your ride is just $23.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 12/31/18.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Stephanie, account manager, contacted her credit union to get pre-qualified for a mortgage. Bad move. The credit union's alleged mortgage expert informed Stephanie she couldn't purchase a home without a cosigner. Wrong. Stephanie's grandfather would cosign, but she wanted to do it herself. After hearing hundreds of our ads, Stephanie called for a free consultation. An experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional answered Stephanie's questions and helped her secure a mortgage without a cosigner. Let's review. The inexperienced mortgage professional at Stephanie's credit union stated she needed a cosigner to purchase a home, and Team Hochberg secured her a mortgage without a cosigner. When securing a mortgage, you could either get terrible advice at your credit union, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get a $79 furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The Sage joins us to opine on the Sessions departure. Larry Elder, 737.
But now let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning, and good morning, everyone. Chicago area could feel a bit like winter tonight. We're watching the temptation to call for a snowpocalypse, but we will not. Less than a half an inch should fall across much of the area. 13 are dead in a shooting this morning at a Southern California nightclub. You've heard Dan and Amy talk about it already many times this morning. That includes a sheriff's deputy and the gunman. Sheriff Jeff Dean says it happened in Thousand Oaks, California. It's about 40 minutes northwest of downtown L.A.
Our sheriff's office received multiple 911 calls of shots being fired here at the Borderline Bar and Grill. Our units were on scene within minutes. And assisting them were some local California Highway Patrol officers.
Witnesses told investigators the killer shot a security guard just outside of the Borderline Bar and Grill, then threw in smoke grenades. Matt Wennerstrom used a bar stool to break a window after the gunman opened fire.
One bar stool went straight through a window.
And then you just started...
And then we just moved the glass out of the way so people could get out.
The death toll includes, again, the gunman. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is out. The president asking for Sessions' resignation yesterday. Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer talked about the pitfalls of interfering in the Russia investigation.
It would create a constitutional crisis if this were a prelude to ending or greatly limiting the Mueller investigation. And I hope President Trump and those he listens to will refrain from that.
The president has been critical of Sessions since the attorney general recused himself from the Russia investigation. Well, apparently Vice President Mike Pence's plans for 2020 are all set.
Mike, will you be my running mate? Stand up, Mike, please. Raise your right hand. Will you? Thank you. Okay, good. The answer is yes. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
That was unexpected.
A response when the president was asked a question yesterday about his own plans for re-election. Here in Illinois, public health managers say more are becoming sick with a polio-like disease. The Department of Public Health yesterday saying acute flaccid myelitis in the state. The outbreak is up to 16 cases. Cook County judge is out of a job. Voters deciding not to retain Judge Matthew Coughlin. He's the first Cook County judge since 1990 to have been removed by voters. Rodney Davis is heading back to Congress. He ended Tuesday night with a slight lead against Democrat Betsy Lodrigan. She conceded that race in the 13th Congressional District yesterday. Pelicans over the Bulls, 107-98. College hoops, DePaul with a win on the opening night of college basketball for the Blue Demons, while the Fighting Illini lift the lid on the season tonight against Evansville. On AM 560 last night, your home for NIU Husky football saw the NIU run over Toledo, 38-15. The news service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Winston Churchill said, "You don't make the poor richer by making the rich poorer." This is truly a foundation of conservative thought today.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. See Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Looking to save money on Medicare Part D? Well, Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy for many plans, including United Healthcare, which means lower copays for you. Together, Walgreens and United Healthcare make saving on Medicare Part D quick and easy. So bring your prescriptions to your nearest Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Napa has 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil or Valvoline full synthetic motor oil for $23.99. That's one heck of a deal for all-weather engine protection. So whether you're driving in Phoenix, Arizona, Duluth, Minnesota, or down the street to the grocery store, the right oil for your ride is just $23.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 12/31/18.
7:38, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
8094 westbound traffic is at a standstill. I-65 to Klein Avenue with crash, the 2 right lanes. Northbound 65 has delays, Ridge Road to 15th Avenue. Edens Expressway, 23 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 26. Kennedy, 53 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 26 from Montrose, same in the Express. Eisenhower, 53 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, stalled semi at 83 to center lane. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. Northbound Tri-State Jam, Cicero to the 83rd Street toll, LaGrange Road to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral, lays on the northbound Veterans Memorial, Mountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway, the Army Trail Toll to 290. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Considerable clouds today. Snow develops into the overnight. High of 40, low 29 overnight. Currently 33. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Ari Fleischer, White House press secretary for George W. Bush, of course. A couple of interesting observations on Twitter. One of them is this. In a year when the GOP was minus 19 among women, there was sort of a year of the woman for GOP women.
Oh, really?
Yeah. First woman elected Iowa governor, Kim Reynolds.
Yep.
First woman elected South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem. First Korean-American woman elected to Congress. First female Tennessee senator. First female Arizona senator. It's not called yet, but it's going to be Martha McSally. First Latino lieutenant governor of Florida. First elected female Mississippi senator. She's favored in the runoff, Hyde-Smith.
Okay.
She'll win that. So it seems like it's more of a marketing problem than a substance problem, a messaging problem than a merit problem. So after...
because we're celebrating all these women on the left, the first lesbian Native American
from Kansas. It's so important.
I know.
Yeah,
like,
Van Jones.
I don't need to know about your sexual. But
Van
I love
Jones
so they
is really happy about that.
They had this article yesterday, Dan, where they featured all these women, and in the middle of it, they threw in the gay governor from Colorado.
Yeah, Jared
how do you
Polis.
think he feels about that? Gosh.
Billionaire. He's fine because he's another identity politics, somebody who's obsessed with identity politics like the others, like the Democrats. 113 million voters, 33 flipped seats so far. Dems at plus 28. And $5.2 billion spent. And what do we know? Well, why don't we ask somebody whose nickname is the Sage? That seems like an obvious thing to do. Our colleague Larry Elder, the Sage of South Central, host of the Larry Elder Show, weekdays 7 to 9 p.m. on these airwaves, joins us now. Larry, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Morning, Dan and Amy. How are you doing?
Morning. So your takeaway from plus 3 in the Senate, minus 28 in the House, at least at present, some pending, and Trump calling out those who ran with him and some who did not.
Well, in general, my thoughts are that the night could have been a lot worse for Republicans. As you know, generally speaking, in the mid-year elections, the party in power gets hosed. Obama lost something like 60-some-odd seats, and it might be about 35 or so in this particular midterm. And also we may pick up anywhere from 2 to perhaps even 4 Senate seats. So it's a mixed, and obviously for the next 2 years, Trump's going to be investigated and investigated and investigated. It'll be a battle royale about his tax returns, about the Mueller investigation. The agenda will be stopped. On the other hand, Nancy Pelosi is going to have to corral these jackasses in her party, like Maxine Waters and like Adam Schiff, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's a socialist. It's going to be very difficult for them to put together some sort of coherent message going into the 2020 elections. So as far as I'm concerned, it makes the re-election of Donald Trump a lot more likely than would have been had the Republicans retained control of the House and had to put forth an agenda.
Larry, I got to tell you, I like the Fortnite reference, the battle royale. Yesterday, President Trump, though, shamed those Republicans who lost after not embracing him. Do you think? I mean, and then also, I feel like he was claiming victory for the evening. Was it? Should he have done that?
I think he's right to claim victory, at least at the Senate part. And he put a lot of energy into the Senate races, and he ended up turning some of them around. The Florida race, a lot of people thought that Gillum was going to take that. Trump goes there, campaigns hard, turns the race around. Same thing happened in Georgia. Oprah comes down there, and I think Joe Biden was there, and other celebrities came down there, and Trump and Pence came there, and it seemed to me to turn that race around. So, and the people that voted against Kavanaugh, Heitkamp and Donnelly went down. Claire McCaskill went down as a result of not supporting Kavanaugh. At least that was a big factor in that race. Dan, you talk about Van Jones and how Van Jones is happy. He said, I think last night, that the party is, quote, younger, browner, and cooler,
yes,
quote.
Right. Yeah, no, that's
we
right.
We had a young brown candidate named Omar Navarro who ran against Maxine Waters. He went up in flames. I don't think that Van Jones cares too much about how young and brown you are if you are a Republican. Mia Love, the black female Republican in Utah, lost her race in part because she didn't embrace Donald Trump. Van Jones didn't seem to shed much of a tear for her. There was a black Republican candidate for Senate in Michigan who lost, and I didn't hear Van Jones shed a tear for this guy. So he wants his party to be younger and browner and cooler, provided he wants the country to be younger, browner, and cooler, provided it's left wing younger, browner, and cooler.
That's right. And on the state legislatures too. One thing that perhaps deserves some emphasis. The Republican Party is the majority party in this country. It was before Tuesday. It continues to be. The Democrats did flip some legislative chambers in the Northeast mainly. But the NCSL, National Conference of State Legislatures, counts 61 chambers still in GOP control as compared with 37 for Democrats. It was 66-31 prior to Tuesday night. So, I mean, it is still a majority country with governor's mansions, with state legislatures, in the Senate, in the White House. 28 seats or so doesn't change that.
Yeah, and a couple of other observations. We were told that the first Native Americans have been now elected to Congress from Kansas and from New Mexico. Whatever happened to Pocahontas? I thought she was the first Native American ever elected.
Right.
And the other thing is Florida. Florida passed a referendum by 60%, which is what they have to do, to allow about 1.5 million felons to be able now to vote. My suspicion is most of those 1.5 million felons are likely to vote Democratic. Otherwise, the initiative would not have been on the ballot. Now, that's going to be very difficult. Florida is a 50-50 state. You're talking about now adding about a 1.5 million potential new voters, most of whom are going to lean left. That's going to be very, very difficult for Trump to take Florida again in 2020 now as a result of this.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
then also, I'm concerned about Trump in 2020 because now the governorships in Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania are all in Democratic hands.
That's true, but we did retain Ohio, and that's good news. And we did retain Florida. That's good news. So, but you're right. It's going to be more daunting for him in 2020 as a result of all of this.
What do you think about his not unsurprising, but perhaps the timing a bit, the call and the acceptance of Jeff Sessions' resignation as Attorney General Matt Whitaker taking over, and also the prospect of Jeff Sessions being the Republican candidate against Doug Jones in 2 years for the Senate seat?
Yeah, right. Well, Jeff Sessions was dead man walking. It's just a question of when he was going to go. I'm surprised it happened so quickly. I understand he wanted to stay at least until Friday, and they said no. No big deal one way or the other. The Mueller investigation is going to continue. I don't believe that the acting AG is going to fire Mueller, as some people are suspecting. And I think if they do fire Mueller, there's no telling how that pull shot's going to carry him. I would urge the president to let the thing roll out, have the investigation conclude, turn over the report to Congress, which is what is going to happen, I guess, and then let Congress do what they're going to do. There's no way this man's going to be impeached, and if he is, it'll go to the Senate. 2/3 of the senators would have to vote to eject him out of office, and in the history of this country, not a single senator has ever voted to expel a president from his own party. It's not going to happen this time either. So Trump is going to spend the next 2 years fighting and battling, and nothing's going to get done. On the other hand, when that happens, government tends not to get bigger. Government tends to shrink relative to what it's been doing the years before when there wasn't a divided Congress. So I think taxpayers are going to make out okay in the long run as a result of having this sort of bifurcated government.
Do you think Jeff Sessions was treated unfairly by the president?
I do. And I think Jeff Sessions was doing yeoman's work on the immigration side. I'm out here in California, where California is a sanctuary state. He's been filing lawsuits, and also he's been responsible for shepherding all these Supreme Court justices and appellate justices, so that Trump in the first 2 years has appointed, I think, more Supreme Court justices and appellate justices than any other president in history. And that's largely a result of Jeff Sessions. He was loyal. He was kicked around publicly. I'm surprised he stayed as long as he did. I do believe he was mistreated. And as far as him recusing himself, when he had his confirmation hearing, he all but was asked, if this thing gets to an investigation of the president, will you recuse yourself? And he said yes. And so he had an obligation to recuse himself, and I'm surprised the president was surprised that he recused himself. So I think he was treated unfairly, yes.
And you mentioned that he said, because it was so sad, did you see the video of him leaving yesterday? And it looked like he had tears in his eyes, and people are cheering him on like he was going to war or something. But you said that he wanted to stay till Friday, and they wouldn't even let him do that?
Yeah, they wouldn't even let him do that. And, Jeff Sessions is responsible for Trump meeting Stephen Miller, who's now one of Trump's top aides. Stephen Miller was a young man who worked for Sessions, rose up in the ranks. Sessions was so impressed with him, he lent him to the Trump campaign. Trump liked him so well, he hired him. So, but for Jeff Sessions, one of Trump's top aides, Stephen Miller, wouldn't be there. That's another reason why I thought that Jeff Sessions was poorly treated.
Speaking of poor treatment, obviously you're very concerned about the professional future of Jim Acosta. That he has had his press credential revoked, at least temporarily. Your reaction to that just deliciously entertaining press conference President Trump held yesterday?
It was a wonderful press conference. It was, as you pointed out, deliciously entertaining. But as far as Acosta is concerned, I think he serves as a useful foil. He is the Helen Thomas of the press corps. Asks belligerent questions. People roll their eyes when he stands up, and he gives the president a really good, colorful, entertaining foil. So I think he serves a useful purpose. I would not have pulled his press credentials, and I predict that the other media members are going to rally behind him and criticize the president for doing so. But he was rude, but everybody saw that, and it made him and it made CNN look bad.
Yeah, Jim Acosta, useful idiot. That is the role he was born to play. There's no question.
That's right.
Larry Elder, he's the host of the Larry Elder Show on these airwaves, weekdays 7 to 9 p.m. Larry, thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm definitely feeling better because now that I'm feeling better, I have more energy to be able to do more things. Before I couldn't, I was in severe pain with my back and I couldn't I really couldn't function without taking an ibuprofen. And I haven't had to do that.
The first day energy level was up by about 30%. Stamina was probably up 40%. Alertness was probably 20-25%. Afternoons, I'd get groggy, doggy. Just in 2 days, that is gone.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
If you're an unhappy timeshare owner, getting out of your timeshare is probably at the top of your to-do list. And now that annual maintenance fees are coming due, you probably wish you had a way to get out of that burdensome and expensive timeshare. Thankfully, my friends at Lone Star Transfer can help. Let them do for you what they've done for over 7,000 others in all 50 states. Their process is done legally and ethically, and best of all, quickly. Lone Star Transfer also has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Brian and Karen run a family-owned business and will personally make sure your experience is a terrific one. Don't let one more year go by with your maintenance fees hitting you in your pocketbook. Give my friends a call for a no-obligation consultation. Call Lone Star Transfer today at 844-310-3116. Write it down, toll-free, 844-310-3116. That's 844-310-3116, or online at LoneStarTransfer.com. That's LoneStarTransfer.com.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. We have so many wonderful clients, but with me today is someone very special.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA. We are a nonprofit student organization battling the bias and indoctrination in America's high schools and colleges every day. We are on over 1,000 campuses and continue to grow. Precision Payroll has been there since day one and has helped us immensely as we grew to a truly national organization. No one in the business is better than Precision Payroll. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. What you're doing is so important. To learn more and help, go to tpusa.com. That's tpusa.com.
And for your business, let Precision Payroll make a difference for you. Call Tom at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or online at precisionpayroll.com.
Thank you, Charlie.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving. But when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had cancer. I have fibromyalgia. I have nerve damage and fatigue. I have thalassemia. I'm hypoglycemic. So my life since cancer, I've had to learn how to live with it. But starting Balance of Nature, I felt it the first month. I felt different. It made such a difference that now I wake up, my head feels clearer, I have more energy. Very rarely does my body cramp up anymore. It's the best thing. It's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I just would not be what I am today if I didn't start Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
In the My Truth era, Amy, shouldn't it be this easy to stay forever young? I bring you 69-year-old Dutch man, Emil Ratelband.
Ratelband.
He is 69, pensioner, but that's not how he identifies. He identifies as a 45-year-old.
Oh, really?
And he's begun a legal battle to lower his age and change his birth date on his birth certificate.
Well, wait, do you have a picture of him? I'll decide if he's 45.
Uh-huh.
Is that his vitality age?
He's gotten a checkup. He said he's got the physical composition of a 45-year-old.
I bet he has the testosterone levels, too, of a 45-year-old.
He's suing his local authority in the Netherlands after they refused to amend his age on official documents. If you could change your gender on your birth certificate, why not your age? Right?
That is so brilliant.
There is no physical reality. Everything is a state of mind, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. What's this guy's name? I want to see if he's hot or not.
I have done a checkup, and what does it show? My biological age is 45 years, said Ratelband. When I'm 69, I'm limited. If I'm 49, I can buy a new house, drive a different car. I can take up more work. When I'm on Tinder and it says I'm 69, I don't get an answer. When I'm 49, with the face I have, I will be in a luxurious position.
You know what he kind of looks like? I hate to say it, but a little bit of upgrade of Edward James almost. He's got the complexion, if you know what I mean, and the pockmarks, but better looking. He's got, okay, stop.
There's nothing hotter than pockmarks.
He's got a nice goatee. He's not, you know what, I could, maybe 50. 49's a little... Or 47, you said? How old is he?
You're clearly getting the main takeaway of this. Yes.
No, I know.
Arguing about what age he identifies with rather than the...
But he wants a younger age so that he can buy that house and drive a different car and do all that.
And he asks if transgender people are allowed to change their sex, why shouldn't he be allowed to change his age? Because otherwise he suffers age discrimination.
It's brilliant.
The My Truth era is fun, isn't it? But, keep capitulating to the left. Let's make this as... let's engender as much lunacy as possible. But I appreciate Ratelband using the left's logic to his benefit.
I love how he threw in Tinder.
Hey, I think that's probably at the top of the list of why he wants to lower his age officially.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up our conversation about the Trump presser and his very colorful interactions with the D.C. press corps with Steve Cortez at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, 8:08.
But first, let's get the latest on the mass shooting in California. Here is Mike Scott.
Fox with the very latest on the death toll and reaction to the shooting that has claimed at least 13 lives in California this morning. Here in Chicago, the National Weather Service says snow and cold on the way. WIND, Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Another mass shooting This one in a bar full of college students in California. I'm Dave Anthony.
I don't understand how people could think this way.
She dove to the floor after he opened fire.
He was just shooting in my general direction, and you could hear the whistling of the bullets and then them hitting.
Within minutes, law enforcement arrived.
Upon going through the front door, the sheriff's sergeant was struck multiple times with gunfire.
He later died. Ventura County Sheriff Jeff Dean says 11 other people were murdered. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal's live outside the bar where it happened in Thousand Oaks.
Dave, the Ventura County Sheriff says they did find 11 people killed inside the Borderline Bar and Grill here. Additionally, they say they found the shooter dead as well, but the 12th victim was that Sheriff's Deputy Ron Helis, who ran in to confront the shooter just minutes after the shooting happened. Matt Winterstrom was inside at the time with his friend when he started to hear gunshots.
And I looked over and I saw a tall, dark figure with a handgun unloading shots into my friend working the counter, basically, a young girl my age.
A law enforcement source told the LA Times that the shooter is a 29-year-old who was armed with a Glock handgun as well as a smoke bomb type device, Dave.
Jessica, President Trump called it terrible, tweeting, "God bless the victims and their families," also saying the police acted with great bravery. The president's looking for a new attorney general. The day after he ousted Jeff Sessions, Matt Whitaker's now the acting AG.
Whitaker is under scrutiny for an op-ed he wrote last year about a red line he said special counsel Mueller should not cross. Quote, investigating Donald Trump's finances or his family's finances falls completely outside of the realm of his 2016 campaign. That goes beyond the scope of the appointment of the special counsel.
Fox's Catherine Herridge. Democrats want Whitaker to recuse himself from the investigation like Sessions did, which angered the president. This is Fox News.
33 degrees in Chicago. Right now we have mostly cloudy skies and snow showers could be on the way for the overnight into tomorrow morning. On AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Public health managers in the state say even more people are becoming sickened with a polio-like disease. Department of Public Health yesterday saying the acute flaccid myelitis outbreak is now up to 16. Students and staff on edge after an alleged racist patch of graffiti was found at Oak Park and River Forest High School for the second time in less than a week. School hosted a community meeting last night. Chicago Police Union is cutting ties with the attorney who represents a convicted former Chicago police officer, Jason Van Dyke. The Tribune says the executive board of the local FOP voted against recommending the services of Daniel Herbert. Chicago police say they've recovered a male body not far from the area where a car with two men went into the Calumet River over the weekend. Authorities say the search continues for the other person in the car. Devontae Searcy, Demetrius Hendricks, and Christopher Henderson were driving Sunday when their car went into the river. Henderson made it out. The Oak Brook Park District's multi-million-dollar bond sale referendum to buy vacant land from the old McDonald's campus is approved. Measure gained 68% of the vote yesterday. The Park District is hoping to beat local developers to the 34 acres of property to develop soccer fields and other sporting event venues. Chicago sports, Pelicans over the Bulls, 107-98. College hoops, DePaul a winner last night in their lid lifter, and the Fighting Illini play their first regular season game tonight against Evansville. On AM 560 last night, Marcus Childers ran for two and threw another as the NIU Huskies beat Toledo in the MAC 38-15. 8:04 time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Walmart says it will start some online holiday deals earlier this year. Walmart.com Black Friday sales will start at 10 p.m. on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. In-store sales will begin at 6 p.m. local time on Thanksgiving Day. Walmart says it will color code toys, electronics, home, and apparel so you can easily find deals. Walmart is already offering some pre-holiday season sales on TVs, laptops, and other items. The Federal Reserve is wrapping up a two-day meeting today, but is not expected to raise interest rates. The Fed is expected to offer its most recent update on the economy. The Dow Jones Industrials gained 545 yesterday. The Nasdaq was up 194, and the S&P rose 58. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Are you a fiduciary? If you're the owner or officer of a company sponsoring a corporate retirement plan, then you are a fiduciary. Why is this important? As a fiduciary, you may be held personally liable for breaches in your 401k plan. There has been a recent surge in lawsuits related to excessive fees and fiduciary breaches targeting 401k plans, their owners, and officers. One of our newest charity golf benefactors, Clear Financial Strategies, is your retirement plan CFO, bringing together a specialized fiduciary compliance and management team to help prevent potential lawsuits, all at competitive costs. Discover if your 401k contains any hidden fees or risks, and how Clear Financial Strategies is a registered investment advisor that's a true fiduciary. Professionals placing your interests first. I suggest you request Clear Financial Strategies custom report on company retirement plan risks. Visit my401krisks.com. That's my401krisks.com. Do it today, my401krisks.com.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
Noted author, former chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user Dr. Bob Arnott.
The human body has billions of pain receptors. Block those receptors with the anesthetics found in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, and you'll have relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Plus contains 2 anesthetics, including the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. They numb aggravated nerves for effective, lasting relief. For relief, try what I use, Salonpas Lidocaine Plus.
In the silver box with the blue wave.
Visiting Angels is America's choice in senior home care. We believe your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels provides personal home care up to 24 hours per day, including meals and light housework. Ask about our dementia care at home. You'll select your professional caregiver. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
8:08. Check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
8094 westbound traffic remains jammed. I-65 decline, crash the 2 right lanes. Edens is 19 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 27. Kennedy, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 30 from Montrose. Same on the Express, outbound 48 minutes to O'Hare. About Eisenhower, 58 minutes, 390 to downtown, 45 from Manheim. Outbound, it's 53 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Stalled, semi at 83, cleared. It's 54 minutes from the Tri-State. To Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. On Tri-State delays are Cicero Road to the 83rd Street Toll, LaGrange Road to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral, Adams Tollway lead to the Tri-State. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Cloudy day today with a high 40, then a little snow late tonight, a coating to an inch, low 29. Little snow for the morning tomorrow with little or no additional accumulation. Storm total about an inch or 2. High tomorrow, 37. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
33 in gray skies at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So down goes RBG.
Well, according to number of outlets and the press office for the Supreme Court, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has been admitted to George Washington Hospital for observation and treatment after falling at her office last night, and she fractured 3 ribs on her left side. So we don't know. I mean, but she's in there for observation and treatment. But if you've ever cracked a rib, it is painful and hard to breathe.
I haven't, and I don't want to. So I hope Ruth Bader Ginsburg's fine, of course. So just we'll update, I guess, any developments in that condition, although it doesn't seem like it's life-threatening, so there shouldn't be an update other than that she's released from the hospital, hopefully. Updating the real tragedy that occurred in D.C. yesterday, the removal of Jim Acosta's press pass. It's rocked the Fourth Estate to the core. Chyrons. You can see CNN's chyrons, tears almost dripping from them and almost fogging up the screen. What's happened to poor Jim Acosta just for simply asking a question.
I wanted to challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign. In the midterms.
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Ask your freaking question. I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election to try to keep...
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process. And I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign...
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
Jim Acosta. Mr. President, don't you think you're demonizing immigrants? No, I'm not. CNN headline, Trump denies demonizing immigrants. That's the whole point of these press conferences.
And Jim Acosta went on with Anderson Cooper, and, he feels victimized, Dan. This is hard for him.
Yeah, I went back to the White House, actually, to do a live shot for your program just before 8 o'clock. And when I arrived at the gate, the Secret Service came out and informed me that my press credentials were being, revoked temporarily, suspended, and the Secret Service officer came over to me and asked me to hand over my credential.
Yeah, you
and I did.
filmed it.
And I told him, I said, listen, I know you're a professional, you're just doing your job.
Riveting.
And thanks for your service. And handed him a credential I had for 5 years.
A sad day in America. Oh, a real blow.
For 5 years.
Real blow to the Fourth Estate, so on and so forth. This is what lost him his credential is when an intern tried to take his microphone away after he wouldn't give it up and tried to filibuster the president.
Your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
That's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Then he strikes her.
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian
investigation
because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
I mean, there's got to be some level of decorum. And when your time is up, and you pass a baton, and you don't touch a White House intern who's just trying to do her job and take the microphone. Did you see the look on her face? Like, okay.
Yeah,
and then she knelt back down. I mean, he's a bully. He's a thug. He should get his press credentials removed.
I just hope the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon, replaces him for CNN's White House correspondent. For more on the press and other matters, we're pleased to be joined by Steve Cortez, CNN political commentator. Oh, CNN. Also served as Trump's Hispanic Advisory Council president. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning, Amy and Dan. Thanks for having me.
Did you get invited to the cry party for Jim Acosta after that incident yesterday?
I did not. I was at the White House shortly before that, but not on CNN business, meeting my friends and colleagues there in the Trump administration. Look, you can certainly understand that I don't really want to address the CNN-specific aspect of this. But I would tell you more broadly, the White House press corps, and I know a lot of those people, they have ceased to be journalists. They are masquerading as journalists. What they are, in fact, is opposition advocates. They do very much what I do, except I'm transparent about what I do. I'm a partisan pundit. I have an agenda, and I'm all about the 2016 movement. They are all about resistance to the 2016 movement, which would be fine if they were transparent about that. But they're not. Instead, as I said, they masquerade as journalists, and they want the credentials of journalists without the actual responsibilities of journalism. And it showed in that press conference. They asked again and again in different forms, a lot of them, not just Jim Acosta, a lot of them asked basically the same question of, Mr. President, you're a racist, right?
Yeah, right.
And then they recoiled when he wouldn't say yes, when he wouldn't acquiesce. And then they, turn into really rude debaters rather than honest questioners. This is, I think, an important point, too, that back and forth where they talk about the invasion. Now, I don't like the word invasion, okay? I once used it myself on CNN. I then apologized for it. I said I shouldn't use it. It's too incendiary. And listen, I'm not at all soft on illegal immigration at all. And they are border trespassers. I mean, I'll use a lot of tough terms. I don't like invasion. However, to say that it's a lie, that is a lie, okay? That is a difference of opinion. To the president, it's an invasion. To somebody else, it's not an invasion. It's, peaceful migrants, looking for opportunity. Fine, those are differences in opinion. And this is critical because mainstream media constantly accuses the president of lying. And if you look at the actual instances, for example, the Washington Post is keeping this ludicrous running poll. I think we're like 6,000. If you actually go into their website and start looking at these instances one by one, you see that almost all of them are opinions. And they're like this. This will be categorized, guarantee you, in their, database as a lie number 6,050. It's not a lie. That is his opinion, that it's an invasion, and it's not a totally ludicrous opinion. I mean, there are reasons to characterize it that way. Again, I don't like that word, but there are reasons to say that. So I think that's an important, bigger point.
Well, then also Kristen Welker from from NBC News and MSNBC asked him about his moral character. What does that have to do with anything? I mean, really, at this point in time, we know about his past. We know what his intentions are. I mean, it just seems so strange to me.
No, and Amy, that's a great point. Because again, you're just grandstanding. I mean, do you really think he's going to say, you know what? I'm a rotten person. I have low moral character. I mean, of course not. So what are you actually doing? You're actually grandstanding and making a speech. And look, again, I love political activism. Stop pretending you're a journalist. Run for office. Become a spokesman for MoveOn.org. Whatever. Take your pick of left-wing advocacy positions and get into comms. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't pretend that you're an objective journalism. And the exaggeration too yesterday. I mean, there was so much exaggeration that the Republic is at risk between firing the Attorney General, which of course the president has every right to do. He could fire the Attorney General because he doesn't like his hair. I mean, that's literally the kind of purview he has over political appointments in the executive branch. Between that and then the supposed assault on press freedom, if you listen to mainstream media, you would think that the Republic is actually in peril. And I think that kind of exaggeration, though, too, thankfully, is one reason why media is so poorly trusted by the country. That's not just my opinion. I mean, that shows in polling. They love to point out the president's popularity problems, and he does have problems with popularity. But the media's problems in terms of their approval ratings are massively worse than the president's.
We also have to get after this idea of the false premises from which the media starts and the left starts. This whole obsession with continuing to hand-wring about your division in the country, you're dividing the country, you're a divider, not a uniter, and all of these other tired platitudes from an unthinking press corps. Here's the thing, and he sort of got to it when Acosta went back and forth over the term invasion. Here's the thing, Peter Alexander at NBC, who was almost in tears talking about a divided nation. There are disagreements. We have a policy proposal and perspective on immigration and border security that differs from the abolish ICE left. We have a difference of opinion on tax policy than does Pelosi and Pagliacci. We have a difference when it comes to how to interact in the addressing geopolitical concerns with world government bodies like the UN or NATO. So we have disagreements. So you're always going to have disagreements. What you're trying to do, DC Press Corps, is say, unless you surrender to the left, you're divisive. And I think that needs to be explained in no uncertain terms and repeated as pushback to what we see, these shows that we see, like yesterday's press conference.
No, that's a good point. Well, and also the hypocrisy of mainstream media, who constantly says that we are the divisive ones, or that the president is, and he's sowing division. And they then immediately follow those statements as, oh, by the way, you're a bunch of racist Nazis.
Right.
And as if that's not divisive, or that's not overheated rhetoric. I mean, sometimes it's almost amazing that they almost don't listen to themselves, to claim, hey, we want unity. Oh, and by the way, 60+ million Americans who voted for Trump, you're all racist, and you're white nationalists.
Should we be rooting for the House Democrats now in charge to move to impeach both President Trump and, let's not forget,
Brett Kavanaugh?
And Brett Kavanaugh. Should we be rooting for it?
Yeah, I don't think they can help themselves, honestly. I don't think Speaker Pelosi, assuming she's Speaker, I don't think she wants to go there. I do think she's politically savvy enough to know that will be perilous for them. But I'm not sure she can control her caucus. They want it. And I think this is what I think will happen. They're going to start with, serious investigations, circus-like investigations against the president, and that will get them stirred up and give them, in their mind, the ammo to then finally go, to the big I, to impeachment. Will it be just the president or president plus Kavanaugh? Who knows? They could do all of the above. As an American, I hate it because I just think it's bad for our country. And again, talk about division. I mean, we'll get even more separated into our separate camps, into our different camps. But as a partisan, I have to say I welcome it because I think they will massively overplay their hand.
He is Steve Cortez, CNN political commentator and Trump Advisory Council president. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
One of the biggest fears for retirees and soon-to-be retirees, do I have enough? Do I have enough money to last for the rest of my life? I hear it every day when I meet with individuals, and it's for good reason. Check this statistic out. If you were born in 1800, you could expect to live until you were 39 years old. In 1900, 49. That number jumped to 68 in 1950, and today it's 79. How many people do you know that are in their 80s, in their 90s? Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. So how do you help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answers are in our special report, Maximizing Income in Retirement. In this powerful report, you'll discover successful tools and strategies on how to help turbocharge your income in retirement and how to position and protect your money regardless of what happens in the stock market. Call now to receive this report, Maximizing Income in Retirement, and will include 6 strategies to tax-free income. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742 right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc. Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy it before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I thought I had a sinus headache
for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke, and I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days, and 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2. Write the alphabet. You know, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home. I'd be in bed. Now I'm up by like 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping. I cook. I have energy all day. I mean, I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Every time I get an invitation from the AARP, I rip it up with relish. I throw it. I just tear it apart. I just it goes into the trash can with a big sense of purpose. Why? Because I joined AMAC. I don't want to join AARP. AARP was against the tax cuts. AARP sided with Pelosi and Schumer. AARP supports Obamacare. Well, Dan Weber founded AMAC. Less than $20 a year. This organization is now over 1 million members strong. I'm one of them. Go to amac.us or call toll-free 888-262-2006. When you choose AMAC, your dollars go to support your ideals, your values, like getting rid of Obamacare, protecting our borders, protecting our Constitution. Join AMAC today. Go to amac.us, amac.us. 50 or over, you're going to want to join AMAC. Go to amac.us or call toll-free 888-262-2006, 888-262-2006. Join AMAC today.
AM 560, The Answer.
This is that Peter Alexander question that an exchange with President Trump that I was referring to in our conversation with Steve Cortez, and I have a question about it.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can help me. 312-642-5600, Turkey.Pro answer line. This is after Alexander tried to rally to the defense of his colleague Jim Acosta.
Well, they're good friends, you know, and he wanted his moment in the sun, Dan.
Yeah.
He needed his don't forget me moment.
Yeah, that didn't set too well with the president.
Sir, at the end of the campaign, you repeatedly said that Americans need to fear Democrats. You said Democrats would unleash a wave of violent crime that endangers families everywhere. Why are you pitting Americans?
Crime.
Why
Excuse
are you
me.
pitting Americans
Peter,
against one another, sir?
Peter, what are you trying to be him?
No,
Peter,
I'm just asking the question.
Let me just tell you. Very simple. Because they're very weak on crime. Because they have often suggested, members and people within the Democrat Party at a high level have suggested getting rid of ICE, getting rid of law enforcement. That's not going to happen, okay? We want to be strong on the borders. We want to be strong on law enforcement, and I want to cherish ICE because ICE does a fantastic job. What they do for us is so it's so unrecognized how good a job they do. So we want to take care of them, and we want to hold them very close because they do a good job.
But the question,
okay,
to be clear, though, the question
Thank you
sir,
very
is,
much.
why are you
sit down? Peter.
But the question, but you didn't answer my question. Just very simply, the question is, why are you pitting Americans against one another, sir?
I'm not.
Is that how you view
No, I'm not.
citizens
well,
of
look,
this country?
I'll tell you what. We won a lot of elections last night. We did very well last night.
But in many ways,
I think it's going
the
to
country.
I think it's going to have a very positive impact.
Dividing the country, media drone. In fact, Democrats are dividing the country, Peter, because the majority of the country is Republicans in legislatures, governors' mansions, the United States Senate, the White House. But that's not dividing the country either, because we're not simpletons like you, Peter. So now sit down and listen. Let me ask you this question, Peter. Chicago, and put this out to everybody. Chicago, 100 years of Democrat control, uninterrupted. Arguably the most segregated city in America. So how is it that Chicago Democrats in control for 100 years haven't been able to unify a city with a supermajority of Democrats? Or is it more the case that what we have going on in the country is arguments about policy, and he just used an example? So see, Peter, little Peter, some people believe in abolishing ICE, some people don't. So there's a disagreement, and we're going to have to hash that out because there's people in positions of authority that want to eliminate ICE, and this president does not. You see, Is that dividing the nation, or is that disagreeing about the direction of the nation? And that's what you do in a representative republic. Have robust debate about policy choices before us and policy challenges before us. Dividing the nation, demonizing this. If I disagree, I'm demonizing. If you disagree, you're resisting. Right? Isn't that the language games they play, the redefinition they play? Corrupt the language, corrupt man. I disagree, you resist. I'm a demonizer. You're a uniter. Huh? Right. Yeah, it's a real struggle. But the job of the president and his team and Republicans in the Senate and the House, as well at the state level, is to expose this Orwellian speak of the D.C. press corps, the drones in the D.C. press corps, and the drones that they flack for at every level of government in this country.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Ron Hoskow, former FBI Assistant Director, about the investigation that is ongoing, I should say, into that mass shooting in Thousand Oaks, California, as well as with respect to the Russian collusion investigation now that there's a change at the helm at Justice at 8:38.
And to close out the show, many of our listeners want Dan to repeat the 290 joke. Some didn't get it, and I've got numerous emails and text messages, so we'll have that for you. It was a good one.
It was.
But good jokes need to be repeated at least 3 times so it sinks in. Now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, clouds, 33, snow on the way. And as Amy told you at the top of this hour, we're following developments with veteran Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, hospitalized after taking a fall. Ginsburg has been admitted to George Washington University Hospital in D.C. The 85-year-old justice fell in her office last night, fracturing 3 ribs. She's been on the high court since 1993. At least 13 are dead after a shooting at a Southern California a bar and country club, including a sheriff's deputy and the gunman. Thousand Oaks Mayor Pro Tem Rob McCoy was on the scene early this morning.
Most of the folks that remain haven't found their loved one on that list, and they're waiting for news.
Witnesses telling investigators that the killer shot a security guard outside the Borderline Bar and Grill, then threw smoke bombs into the club and went in shooting on College Country Night. Ventura County Sergeant Julie Novak talked about her fallen comrade, Sergeant Ron Hellis, 29-year veteran nearing retirement, who ran inside that bar and was hit by a shower of bullets.
Ron's a family guy, and he loved his son and talked about him all the time and did stuff with him all the time. He's just overall a really great guy, and it's really sad.
Investigators say the shooter was found dead inside that club. The race for Florida governor may be headed for a recall. Republican Ron DeSantis has a lead over Democrat Andrew Gillum. It shrunk a little bit overnight. It may end up being near the threshold to trigger an automatic recount, but with votes still being counted in Broward County, it is not there yet. Chicago area could feel like winter tonight just a little bit, as the National Weather Service says snow and rain will likely fall. Less than a half inch in the city, up to 2 inches in the grassy areas out in the western suburbs. Public health managers in the state say more people are becoming sick with a polio-like disease. The Department of Public Health saying acute flaccid myelitis has hit now 16 young people in the state. Chicago sports, Bulls fell to the Pelicans 107-98 in New Orleans. College hoops last night, DePaul beat Bethune-Cookman. Fighting Illini open up the college basketball season tonight against the Purple Aces of Evansville. College football here on AM 560 last night. Northern Illinois crushed Toledo 38-15. They're 6-0 in the MAC. The news service of CreditBox.com. Do you need extra money for all of your favorite holiday festivities? This year, get funding that fits your lifestyle with CreditBox. Visit CreditBox.com now. Complete their easy online application for instant approval. That's CreditBox.com. Restrictions may apply. 8:34 on AM 560. It's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal 800-421-SCAL. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's ideal situation.
Remember Nancy Pelosi? Didn't she see that once where we could sit back and write poetry and compose music? This is the ideal, that somehow you will be fed, clothed, and housed without actually doing anything. It's character destroying, socialism.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've been on it now. It's got to be close to 5 or 6 years. But I've never run out, and I like to have a little cushion if I want to double up. If I feel a little, like I need a little extra, I don't have to worry about being stingy with it. I'm 54 years old, but anyway, 9 years ago, almost 10 years, it'll be 10 years this December 6th, and I went to work one day. I went, and I thought I had a sinus headache for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke right at work, and I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days in the brain trauma unit of the hospital in New Jersey, and the only reason they even tried to save my life was because I was 44 at the time. And 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2, write the alphabet. My body's been through a lot. And, I used to be in bed for most of the, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home, I'd be in bed. Now I'm up by 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping. I cook. I have energy all day. I'm talking to you now. I sound pretty wired. And I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better. And when I came home, I was on 17 medications, not 17 pills, 17 medications, maybe 40 pills a day. Now I'm down to 3 very, very, very low dose pills, and I'm hoping to get off of everything here. Where I was to what I am now, it's unbelievable. I'm so blessed. So you're speaking to literally a miracle.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Meghan Crane, a weekly conversation about top political issues ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
8:37, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
8094 westbound traffic is jammed central to Klein with a crash still blocking 2 right lanes. The Kennedy runs 49 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 39 from Montrose, same in the Express. Outbound 40 minutes to the airport. Edens 19 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 28 minutes. Eisenhower, 57 minutes, 390 to downtown, 38 from Mannheim, outbound 42 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State slow 120 to 137. Northbound LaGrange Road to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral. Northbound Veterans Memorial delayed. Mountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway, the Army Trail Toll to 290. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, cloudy, chilly today, 44 high temp if we get there. Little snow begins overnight. Bridges and bridge decks will be slippery late. Low 29, and morning snow for the commute tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy and cold and a high of 37. 32 degrees officially at O'Hare, 32 in Lansing, and 34 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 9. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by AM Woodland Outdoor Design, now accepting maintenance clients. amwoodland.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And so we want to update this horrific event we've been updating all morning, as well as Mike Scott in the newsroom, this shooting at a country bar in Thousand Oaks, California. 12 dead, including a sheriff's deputy, the shooter dead at the scene, an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. A number of witnesses have come forward to be interviewed by media locally and nationally to tell of what they saw. But We don't have an identification or a motive. Obviously, this is in the very early stages of the investigation.
Yeah, and it's in a wonderful town. If anybody's been to that area, Westlake Village is right next door. It's just, it's a safe place. It was ranked number 4 of the safest communities in the country. And it was college night, so kids 18 and older were invited. There were kids from Pepperdine University, California Lutheran were there. And the gunman came in around 11:20 p.m. their time. Was wearing all black, they said, had black scarf over his face. Some say he was shouting something. They couldn't hear what he was shouting, but he started shooting. And one said he knew exactly what he's doing. Listen to this young lady.
Taylor, describe the gunman and his shooting, because apparently you told some folks that you thought you saw him reload. Did you see anybody actually get shot by him?
I saw 3 people get shot by him. As soon as he walked in, he had perfect form. I'm born in a military family, and I've been around guns my entire life. I've been shooting them. I've seen them. I've cleaned them, so I know a bit about them. And he looked like he knew what he was doing. He had practiced. He had been shooting for.
And also one of the dead, Sergeant Ron Heelas, 29-year veteran looking to retire next year, had a wife and child who he called on the way in. And it's just so heartbreaking, the stories and what happened. But again, we don't know his motive as of yet.
For more on this, how the investigation will proceed, the coordination between local and federal law enforcement, obviously, and unfortunately, not the first time we've had to cover and talk about this in recent years, as well as on the shakeup at the Department of Justice. We're pleased to be joined again by Ron Hoskow, who is a former FBI Assistant Director and now the President of the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund. Ron, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Happy to be with you. Tragic what you're reporting on, what we're seeing out of Southern California, and another example of the amazing heroism, bravery of law enforcement going into these events and trying to stop the madness.
Well, and from the details that have emerged, it seems fairly clear that this was a planned attack, smoke bombs, and as you heard from that witness, he knew what he was doing with guns. And so how does that inform how the FBI, in conjunction with local law enforcement, investigate a massacre like this?
Well, look, at its core, these are murders. There are local homicide laws that make that illegal and punishable very often by life in prison or death. So there's always a local interest. The FBI is, always prepared for, at least, in the last several years, prepared to support local law enforcement in these mass shooting events with a lot of different types of resources, whether it's tactical or victim assistance as things slow down and start to be controlled, investigative resources to just go help do interviews, to exploit social media and computers and phones. So, I think the FBI certainly takes the view that this is local law enforcement lead, but they are looking for evidence of connection to international terrorism or to domestic terrorism. As we saw in Pittsburgh, the FBI, took a more of a lead role because of the belief that this was inspired by hate, and the feds wanted, the death penalty to be a real option. So they took a lead role. But, these are joint efforts. Local law enforcement from, I'm sure, all the surrounding communities were there. The FBI is going to go. I'm sure there were folks from DHS, ATF to try to identify the weapon and trace the weapon back to its source. This is very much a team effort in 2018.
Yeah, they said that they didn't find an assault rifle, but a handgun. And then they described the gunman as Middle Eastern, or as a Middle Easterner. How long will it take, do you think, to identify him, or do you think they possibly know his identity right now and if he has any affiliation with any terrorist groups?
Yeah, I'm very confident that they know his identity right now, and they are trying to stay ahead of the media as they go get search warrants for the next location, for his residence, for vehicles, for anything significant that's in some way protected by an expectation of privacy. They're going to be, smart on the law and be, grabbing process, federal process, local process, to make sure that what they do is within the law and that they are exploiting it as quickly as possible. Very often, we saw this in Pittsburgh, there is leakage of the person's intent. Others have seen, heard, there may have been threats. Very often in these cases, there are, what are known as these pre-event indicators and leakage of the person's intent. They have a grievance. It could be that very often that they have significant life stressors, whether it's a breakup or a rejection of some sort, or death of a parent, instability at work or at school. Those stressors are going to be evident as a look at what this person's intent is and try to piece it all together. And so we will see. But, on the social media aspect of it, for me, it's very concerning because there are these places online that evil people gravitate toward to spew hate, to vent. The word gets out what some of these locations are, and I think Congress has a role here in examining what's the role of the tech companies that create these platforms that become central locations for that. What's their responsibility to police it, to report it, to take certain posts down? It remains to be seen if that's a factor here, but we've seen it too many times.
Switching gears, I want to go to the Department of Justice. Jeff Sessions is out. Matt Whitaker is in, at least in an interim capacity. Don't know how long that will last, but he's got some latitude there. Whitaker, not exactly a fan of the Mueller investigation, because of the substance of it. And so I wonder how you think this shakeup at Justice changes perhaps the trajectory or the timeline of Mueller wrapping up his investigation and presenting something, particularly after was widely reported a few weeks ago that he would be announcing something of some measure of import shortly after the midterms.
The difficult part of prognosticating is what we don't know. And I do believe, and I know we've talked about it, Bob Mueller knows a lot more than all of us, and he's been pretty darn quiet. It's been very zipped up. We tend to find out about somebody significant who's been interviewed months after the interview occurred. And then suddenly on a Friday afternoon, we're hearing of indictments of new people. So it makes it very difficult to know where this is going to go. But most certainly today, Mr. Whitaker knows a lot more than he did a week or two ago. We know that Jeff Sessions has been recused. It could well be that Mr. Whitaker has been very well informed about where Mueller is in the investigation. What's yet to come? Are there additional indictments? There's been a lot of reporting, at least here, about Roger Stone and his ability to predict the October surprise. And did he know? Did he coordinate? What was his role? And so I don't think we're done. And I think that as Mr. Whitaker is more fully informed about the progress and the direction and the cost and the projections about time and additional expenditures, that I would think is going to drive his view of the continuing investigation. If Mueller is telling him, hey, we're ready to indict 5 more people on Friday, and they are significant indictments, I think that Mr. Whitaker's actions are going to be judged from a historical perspective of, did he do the right thing? If they are significant indictments with significant evidence, I'd be shocked if he says, I'm just going to, shut this thing down. We're done.
Well, he has said publicly that he's against the Russian investigation, and he saw nothing wrong with President Trump's son meeting with the Russian lawyer during the campaign. So would that...
So will Bob Mueller have evidence that says this was criminal and let me tell you why, and Whitaker say, okay, I'm listening. It's one of the things you do in these senior executive roles. You're not the investigator. You're being briefed on the investigation, and you're going back and forth with the lead investigators, probing and asking hard questions, and very often, if you're open-minded, being informed. Certainly coming into it with your own, beliefs, but being informed and finding out things that you didn't know before. And so I would hope that a fair-minded acting attorney general is going to come into a briefing like that with an open mind, try to understand who, what, why, where, how much, and then make an informed decision. I know he is being attacked by some, saying, look, he's already had an opinion. He should be recusing himself. We haven't yet heard about the role of the relationship between he and Rod Rosenstein. Of course, Rod has been the kind of guiding hand, or at least the approval authority so far. And I would think, that something may be telegraphed if we hear that Rosenstein is now determined to leave the department. That may be a sign of a difference of opinion. I'm sure some are going to start speculating on whether Rosenstein stays or goes.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
I'm sure he'll land.
I hope.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a soft landing, Fusion GPS or something.
Yeah.
Ron Hoskow, former FBI Assistant Director, President for the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund. Ron, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always good to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Stephanie, account manager, contacted her credit union to get pre-qualified for a mortgage. Bad move. The credit union's alleged mortgage expert informed Stephanie she couldn't purchase a home without a cosigner. Wrong. Stephanie's grandfather would cosign, but she wanted to do it herself. After hearing hundreds of our ads, Stephanie called for a free consultation. An experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional answered Stephanie's questions and helped her secure a mortgage without a cosigner. Let's review. The inexperienced mortgage professional at Stephanie's credit union stated she needed a cosigner to purchase a home, and Team Hochberg secured her a mortgage without a cosigner. When securing a mortgage, you could either get terrible advice at your credit union, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
This is Dan Propt with 60 Seconds of Sanity for upstream-ideas.com. Potty-mouthed DNC chairman Tom Perez said bigotry is on the ballot in the midterm election. True, but it's the left's bigotry. The most enduring takeaway from this election cycle is that the left has one and only one solution to every policy challenge: bigot baiting. Spin the wheel, pick an issue, advocate for border security by using the very real example of an illegal immigrant cop killer, and CNN's Kate Bolden calls you a racist. Defend an individual's Second Amendment right to self-protection, and you're conspiring with white supremacists and quote-unquote demonizing Jews, as former DNC Chairman Howard Dean said of President Trump. Support voter ID laws to protect every American's franchise, and you're in the business of preventing poor and black people from voting, said CNN legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin. Exist as a white man, and you're by definition part of the greatest terror threat facing America, per CNN's Don Lemon, and are likely to be radicalized to commit a hate-inspired crime by President Trump, according to GQ's Julia E. Hoffey. The Democrat socialists live at the intersection of vacuous identity politics and mindless rage. It's a dangerous neighborhood and a terrible place to locate a country.
When it comes to your identity and the personal information on your devices, there's no soundtrack to let you know you're in danger. Today's digital world is so connected, it just takes one weak link for criminals to get in. Good thing new LifeLock now adds the power of Norton Security. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats like your personal info for sale on the dark web. And Norton Security helps protect up to 5 devices from ransomware and other online threats. Plus, if you have a problem, our agents will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but with LifeLock, we can help alert you to danger. Join now and get 10% off your first year plus a $25 Amazon gift card with annual enrollment. Just go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. Terms apply. New LifeLock with Norton. More detection, more protection.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their 3 co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that? Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, perfect addition. Jelly Belly is off to a fast start.
Oh, hey, now, you mean J.B. Pritzker.
Wants to legalize marijuana nearly straight away. And this is a perfect addition to the rackets that the Illinois crime families who control Illinois run, because you got your gambling, you got your protection money, you got your marijuana, and, I mean,
Well, he's...
Well, my only problem is why stop at marijuana? Legalize all the drugs.
Well, this is his 14-second explanation of how we're gonna benefit from this.
Legalizing marijuana, something I think will be important to bring $700 million of revenue to the state, maybe as much as $1 billion.
Yeah.
We've got to do that, with a regulatory system that keeps our people safe.
Oh, yeah, smoke pot, but do it safely.
Sure, that's what's happening in Colorado. I mean, we could do the same thing if we've got a regulatory system that keeps people safe with cocaine, heroin. Why not? I mean, this is just mobsters running their rackets under the guise of government, so why limit it? The other thing, too, is when do we get prostitution? I mean, that could be a real revenue generator for the state, and that's all that we care about, right?
Yeah. Well, now, you made this JB joke that everyone
make a
wants
joke.
you to...
I told a story about JB that actually
okay.
happened.
All right, well,
what's a joke.
Tell us the story again.
He was commuting into the city, trying to get to the city from one of his suburban castles, and his limo driver pulled over. JB rolled down the window and asked the guy, how do you get to 290? And the guy said to him, lose 50 pounds. Thank you very much. Thank you.
How do you get to 290? And the guy says, lose 50 pounds.
It's so much better when you deliver it. You got the laugh.
Because I got the laugh track.
Yeah, you have the laugh track. That's key.
And you said that originally was for Oprah?
Yeah, you
rolled
just
down the window and said, hey, how do I get to 290? And somebody yelled, lose 50 pounds.
Right. Hey, let me give you another example.
Okay.
You can repurpose these things. They're evergreens. JB is going through the security line at O'Hare, and the TSA stops him, tells him to drop his pants, and you know what they find?
What?
500 pounds of crack.
Oh!
All right, there you go. Got a million of them.
Oh, never gets old.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, Quinn McCarthy, our associate producer, and Keith Conrad, our executive producer, back here bright and early at 5 a.m. Now let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Snow and cold weather on the way for Chicagoland tonight. Just be prepared.